being flat after I chase the top. Yeah. How can you turn around like that right when the green lights stop? How can we go back to being flat after I chase the top? Yeah. How can you turn around like that right when the green light stops? Now the green is gone again. Now the green is gone again. Oh, yeah.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show. Today's a beautiful Wednesday, March the 11th. I put on my green shirt today. Hopefully, we're making some green today. I do appreciate you joining me at the crack of dawn as I have a lozenge shoved in my throat so I don't cough all over the mic today. Folks, we're starting early for that CPI report. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, we're going to be able to listening to that beautiful serenading voice of our boy Rickson Tilley today. Let's get Rickson chat. Let's get ready for him. Let's see if we can front run our boy Rick by a couple minutes here, 3, 4, 5 minutes to get him all jazzed up. I don't know if he's watching the show. I don't know if he's tuning in, but I do envision it in my mind that he's paying very, very close attention. Rick should be ripping it anytime soon. So CPI report is coming out at 8:30 a.m. That's why we are starting. So very quickly, I know there's a lot of things that we should be talking about, but my first goal of the day is to get you guys ready for this CPI report. So let me see if I can move myself over here. And let me see if I could get you guys ready. S&P 500 futures are little changed as traders monitor oil prices, await inflation data. So the inflation data we are awaiting is right here. CPI report, the line in the sand is 2.4%, month over month 0.3 and 0.2, depending on if you're looking at headline or core. But really the year over year, and also the month over month. Just remember 2.4, 0.3, and 0.2. That will all be coming out very, very shortly. Now, I don't want to take away from this because it's actually important for this. I do want to let you know that if you are trying to pass Apex, this is the final day. 80% off with code Goonie. This is like the celebration run for all their new accounts. So with code Goonie, Goonie, you can get 80% off, and they still have 1 day pass. Yes, you can no longer do the hedging methodology, but this type of an event, this CPI event, if you are fortunate enough to select the side that it goes, that's a very easy way to pass the eval. Now, obviously, you can't trade your performance accounts that way. That's like a windfall, waterfall return. But to pass the evals, it is completely above board. Obviously, you can no longer hedge it. You can't go like half long and half short. But maybe you just get lucky with picking the direction anyway. So I just wanted to call this out right now as you have a couple minutes left. Once again, this is the final day. This is the final trading session. Code Goonie, 80% off Apex, celebrating all of their new accounts. Personally, I think the end of day drawdown 150K account is the best. And right now with code Goonie, you can get those accounts for as cheap as $60. Yes, you heard me right. End of day drawdown, 150K accounts for as cheap as $60. So just wanted to call that out. There's no more payout denials, no more MAE rule, no more 5-to-1 risk, built-in scaling, 50% consistency. The consistencies for the payouts later, not for passing the eval. You can still pass in 1 day. So just wanted to call that out to everyone. All right. My apologies. I think I forgot to take my Zyrtec this morning because Piper's really messing with my nose. But anyway, The 1 minute SPY, 1 minute QQQ. Let me get those. I kind of want to have oil up. I kind of want to have Bitcoin up. I just want to get all these charts prepped up as we are waiting for this result. Oil, actually, it's rebounding a little bit, but down from that recent high we saw of 120, currently trading at 86. Bitcoin bouncing off of 69, a nice $400 pop right there. Okay, so this data is going to be coming out in exactly 1 minute. So my final question to you, CPI report's about to drop. We're about to be listening to our boy Rick Santilli. Right now, you can see in pre-market action, we're kind of at equilibrium. We're pretty much at where we closed yesterday on the S&P 500, also on the NASDAQ. So no big push to the upside or downside as we are heading into this. So like I said, pretty much stuck at equilibrium. So my question for all of you is, bullish or bearish, what is the first reaction? If you were attempting to pass an Apex account today and you were betting on the very first move, whether up or down, what is everyone's best guess? Would you be ripping it to the upside or ripping it to the downside? What do you think the very, very first react? You know what? Let's go to the 15-second chart. Let's dial in on this one. We're currently trading at 677.15, which over here is around pretty much the closing value. You know what? Where's our boy Rick? I don't want to miss out on this. I want to make sure the volume's good. Come on, Rick. Where are you, buddy? Where are you, buddy? Right. There we go.
Note, sitting just
Get
about
ready.
4.1. The 2 year sitting at about 3.6.
Up.
Our good
God
friend Rick
candle?
Santilli is standing by at
Up.
the CME in Chicago. We've
Well,
got Mr.
for everyone
Leeson,
who
the
picked
professor,
bullish,
at the
that was
table
the
as
way to
we
pass the
await,
test.
These
That
numbers,
was the way.
Rick, what are you looking for?
You know, I
Betting
think that
on
what
both
I'm
with
really
one
paying
account,
closest attention to is year-over-year
did you hit
numbers.
it?
If we can get a little
Question,
bit closer
how
to
many of you
2%,
passed your
we're
eval in
expecting
that push?
2.4 and 2.5 on year-over-year core.
Raise your
It's
hand.
been sticky.
Thumbs up,
but we
thumbs
do know
down.
that
Did you
the
pass your
PCE,
test or
which
did you
normally
fail
runs a
your
little
test?
under, this has been running over this,
I
so it
am
may diminish
very,
some of the
very
impact
curious.
of CPI.
This is
And
way
it's going
too
to be
soft.
released any second, of course. This is the February read. Headline number expected to be up 0.3. Andrew delivers exactly up 0.3. In the rearview mirror, still unrevised, is up 0.2. We had a lot of up 0.3 last year. Find a higher number, you're going all the way back to January of 25. The high water mark last year was January, and that was up 0.4. Now, if we strip out food and energy and come up with the core expected up 0.2, that's exactly where it comes out, up 0.2. Here we go with the year-over-year numbers. And zero progress, but not losing any ground. It remains at 2.4 on year-over-year headline. 2.4 really is to find a lower number. You're going back to April of last year at 2.3.
Perfectly
to find a
in
higher
line.
number,
Everything
you're at
hit
December of last year at
expectations.
2.7. Just to give you some context there. Now, in my opinion, the most important number, year-over-year core, remains at 2.5%.
We went from 93
We finished
to
off
60.
last year at 2.6. The high water mark recently was 3.3%. That was also the start of last year, the high water mark. Now, I like to do the indices because I think it really drives home the point of compounding interest and how that works against us in making progress. Even if we go low inflation levels, you don't reduce what's in the rearview mirror. On the headline index, which started in 1913, the
Consumer
current
prices
read
rose
is
2.4% in February as
326.78.
expected.
Never been higher. Now, if we look at that index on a core basis, which started in 1957, it comes in at
SPY popped, gave it back. Fuse
333.51.
popped, gave it back.
Has
Oil
never
trending
been
up.
higher.
Bitcoin
And
popped,
I
gave it
underscore
back.
how important that is. Because
The
if
dollar dropped
affordability
and
becomes an
already
issue,
popped.
we have to underscore the compounding nature of inflation that started basically right
Yields
around the COVID period
kind
and
of
all
unchanged.
the money that was spent to try to combat that. But in order to reduce the compounding nature, which puts prices
gold
well
up,
over 20%
down, and then back.
pre-2020
Silver up,
comparison,
and
you
then
need to have
slightly
negative
down.
monthly numbers, and I just don't foresee that anywhere in the near future. Now, how did the markets react to this, Andrew? We're up about a basis point in the 10, almost at 418. That would be up 2 basis points. 360 in a 2-year hasn't changed much. Rates started to move up yesterday as Amazon launched and eventually priced on the U.S. side because many were making room in their portfolios by selling treasuries. Andrew, back to you.
Okay. Mr. Leisman, you're staring at the screen.
I'm also always
So
in awe of
Trueflation
Rick
is
and what he
saying
does.
that
We got a little history
it's
lesson
actually
there.
at
Went back to
1%.
1913. 1950. I didn't know that stuff. When
Well,
when
the
those
government
indices started.
is
Only
saying
he
we're
goes
at
back and looks at it.
2.4. Right here, 2.4.
A good number.
versus
and what's
1.
interesting is, let's go back
Right here.
in my Wayback Machine, and what you'll find is that I would have said at 2.5, Fed's at target on the
Market's getting
CPI,
faded.
and you have this weird anomaly where the PCE, the Fed's preferred indicator, running above the CPI, and the reason is because the PCE does not give as high a weighting to housing and gives a higher weighting to healthcare. That's the one the Fed chooses to follow, and that one is probably likely to tick up.
What are
but
the
that
chances
said,
that
it's
those
a good
numbers are
thing,
cooked?
what Rick reported, that you have this housing number
100%?
coming down, 0.2 in the owner's equivalent rent. That's a good thing. Bad thing is you have a little bit hotter on energy. You had 0.6 on energy, a pop on gasoline, and we know what's going to happen in that part of the index come March and April. That's going to go higher again still. But one other good thing is I've been following commodities less food and energy. That's kind of a proxy for imported goods and for what might be affected by tariffs. And that was very modest. It is up 1%. That effect of tariffs is there on a year-over-year basis, but it's not getting worse, and it may be attenuating at this point. Only apparel showed a 1.3% increase. And for my good friend Rick Santelli, I will tell him what used cars are doing, and they were down quite nicely. It looks like 0.4% after had a couple of declines in used car prices. I know Rick likes to go out in the market every now and then, and has a couple in the garage there. So that's where we're at.
Really old used cars.
Really old. I don't think your used cars, Rick, are affected by what I'm seeing in used car prices, but it is interesting that we've had this downdraft in used cars.
No, mine are all over 50 years old.
And I'm flat here when it comes to new vehicles as well, which is also interesting considering, again, the price increases that came from tariffs. So still this question was out there at the beginning of the year, January, February, would they pass along additional prices?
Giving it back.
We do hear that anecdotally, but again, we question and say, look, companies can say a lot of things about passing along prices, but whether or not they do that, I have talked to people out there in the market who say they're getting killed on margins because they're not passing it along. And that is something that we may not see so much in the market. If you look, you need to look past those top 7 that have done all that, have had so many of the gains.
I mean, there's nothing the slightest bit. The yields didn't go down. They're up, as Rick said, a couple basis points down. And the market now is, I think it was down 30 or 40. It's now down 150.
I'm going to engage Rick on this, if you have a second, Joe, which is, Rick, I don't know that we should get excited about any movement in the 10-year that is between 4 and 420. Yeah. It seems like that's its natural where it's going to be, and it doesn't. It's full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
5-minute is bearish. 10-minute is bearish.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it really is quite amazing.
Actually,
when you
even the 4 hour is now bearish. We tried to get this breakout, thus far rejected.
I agree more with that statement, and I really think that the biggest driver of information that I'm getting from the long end is how hard it is to keep a 10-year under 4%.
Same with the
that is pretty
NASDAQ.
amazing.
4 hours holding bullish, but 5, 10, 30
really
as of now, and of course things can
4%,
change.
That's when you're really supposed to start paying much closer attention.
With respect
Rick,
to
earlier
momentum.
today, Steve brought up the idea, not the likelihood, but the idea that you could have to see rate hikes if we continue to see increases in oil prices. How do you factor that in terms of probabilities?
Yeah.
I really don't see it as a possibility. I don't see it really. I see less easing reflected in the marketplace.
Oil's holding.
The farther out you go, if you start to see whispers of tightening, it's just because you're looking too far out and the information is distorted and useless. And I still contend that any central bank in a short timeline, a short runway with higher energy prices due to exogenous shocks should not, and I underscore not,
that's the SAT word of the day, folks. Exogenous.
You know what's before Full of Sound and Fury?
No, what is?
It's a tale told by an idiot.
Told by an idiot. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Joe. 3 criteria on hikes. Real quick, that it lasts, that it bleeds into core, and that it affects expectations. In that context, Becky, is what I meant, or what the thinking is you could end up seeing the Fed reverse course on hikes. But those are 3 difficult criteria to hit.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
I'm impressed, Joe. I'm impressed.
Creeps in this petty pace? from day to day to the last
Are we just like
syllable.
I read it. I didn't understand it, but I read it.
Which one was it?
We're
You
going to
remember
get
which
to
one it was?
Tim
Yeah, we
Scott
are.
coming up.
right now.
Got 8 minutes.
I'm very excited.
Bipartisan bill aimed at bringing down housing costs is making its way through the Senate. Joining us now, Senator Tim Scott, chairman of the Banking Committee.
What are they doing with
And one of the
Tim
authors
Scott?
of
A
the
housing
legislation. It's
bill?
been a while, Senator. It's good to have you on this morning.
morning.
You know,
Thank you
the
very much. Good to
scariest-
be with y'all.
The scariest thing for some people is
CPI, good or bad, it came in
and
at
90
expectation.
votes, and Senator Elizabeth Warren, and that immediately has certain people in this, in the environment we're in this country right now, saying, "What are you doing, Senator? Can you sell it for?"
Yeah, when President Trump and Elizabeth Warren and the Senate majority Republicans can all come to the same place on a housing bill, what it says is you put partisan politics aside and you
What
ask
is
yourself,
this
what
housing
is one of
bill
the most
about?
profound
Does anyone know?
issues impacting the American people? My mother became a first-time home owner at 38. Today, it's 40. 40 years old. We all see the pain
Does
and the misery
anyone
the average person is going through in this country. And I got to tell you, solving that problem requires us to have a bipartisan coalition. The good news is the bill is absolutely center right. We solve problems by cutting red tape. We solve problems by focusing on local jurisdictions and giving
What's
them
this
more
bill about?
incentives
Help me out.
to
I'm
produce
reading your chat
more
right now.
housing
This is your
and
time
make it
to
more
impress
affordable.
me.
If we do it right, we don't understand in Washington how to solve a problem in Greenwood, South Carolina. We have to let Greenwood, South Carolina solve that problem. So we put carrots and sticks. Getting Elizabeth Warren to say we're going to take money away from jurisdictions
that matters.
do not produce more housing and give more money to jurisdictions was an important part of the equation. We thank Senator John Kennedy for that part of the bill. So every member of the Banking Committee had an opportunity to invest their time, their energy, and their priorities into this legislation, making it a bipartisan win, but more importantly, a win for the American people who desperately want to experience their version of the American dream. That's usually home ownership.
Senator, what are the prospects for the House? And I won't go into the Wall
Attempts to
Street Journal's
increase supply
op-ed
by getting rid of new building
page. I don't know if you
impediments.
saw it today. They said, why do Republicans want to provide a down payment for Ms. Warren and
houses,
fellow
remove
progressives
barriers,
to
stop
expand
big
Washington
investors
control
from hoarding
over
homes.
housing? But I think some House members might want some. I think Senator Majority Leader Thune also said, in the current form, it may not be viable in the House. What do they want? What kind of little tweaks could be made to make it more palatable?
Well, the House passed their bill 399 to 1, and many of the provisions that they have 25 basic provisions in their legislation. We've taken 20 of the 25 provisions and embedded them in our 21st century road to housing. We actually renamed the bill because the House bill was so good. So we took the combination. Our bill was fantastic. Their bill was good. Putting those two together, we have the bicameral approach to housing. I think one of the things we're going to have to do is take a look at some of the priorities that the House wanted,
Momentum
especially
is
the Freedom
bearish,
Caucus,
folks.
which
We
had
had a
nothing to
nice
do with
pop.
housing. They couldn't put it in their bill, so we've
70
airdropped
point
it in, which
pop, and it
was
just all
the
got
central bank
faded.
digital currency was a major issue, not a housing issue, but a major issue that they wanted airdropped in. We were able to include that ban for 5 years and put it into the housing bill. So we think we've given the sweeteners necessary. Obviously, the president said in his State of the Union, his sweetener was the large institutional investors ban. We've tried our very best to carve that down a bit so that we could have it as a part of the bill that passes, and he's willing to sign it. So what he says during the State of the Union, I take him seriously. We have that part in the bill as well.
But he said he won't sign anything until SAVE gets done. That's the latest thing we've heard. What do you make of that?
Listen, Joe, you and I should both agree. Frankly, everyone in the studio should agree. When you have 80+% of Americans, black ones, white ones, Asians, Hispanics, Native Americans, mixed kids, all say the same thing.
All of them.
Voter ID, common sense. When the vast majority of every demographic in this country comes to the same conclusion that Save America Act should be passed, we should pass it. Only thing standing in our way, Democrats at this point. I'm hopeful that we'll find a path forward on the Save America Act.
You need 60 votes, though, I think.
Absolutely.
Never going to happen. And in this talking filibuster, I think we had a senator in New Jersey talk for 25 hours, and he was just getting warmed up. That's not going to work, I don't think, would it?
Well, it does actually would require people to not sit in their desks or stay in their offices. Come to the floor and hold the floor. I think the talking filibuster would actually improve comity in our chamber and require us to be present. That might pull some Democrats off the sidelines and get them to vote for this bill. Because at the end of the day, this is about voter integrity, and every demographic in the country, Joe, supports it. Why not do common sense, make America proud?
Hey, Senator, while we have you here, I was just curious, given your role on this committee, is Jay Powell going to be testifying, anytime soon? I ask because the Federal Reserve Act mandates that he testify on or around February 20th. We're now on March 11th.
Oil's holding, Bitcoin popped.
I had a conversation with Jay about his testimony. I recommended that he come before the committee. We had it scheduled for February the 11th. They declined to come. We could compel them to come at this point.
Any thoughts on Oracle? Yeah, we're going to go over
criminal
Oracle.
proceeding, and I get that. At the end of the day, what I've said, Andrew, is that when he was before the committee, he definitely was unprepared. I think he was woefully unprepared, but he did not commit a criminal act. When he was before the committee, I was asking the questions that is the basis of the inquiry. So I believe that he was wrong, but not creating any criminal activity. Therefore, I hope that the suit goes away. That would allow for us to move very quickly to get Kevin Warsh as the next chairman of the Federal Reserve.
Do you believe the suit will go away? And is there any update in terms of conversations you might have had with Senator Tillis, of course, who's going to, or has said that he will, upend things until and unless that happens as it relates to Kevin Warsh?
Yeah, I had a good conversation with Tom yesterday. He was thankful for my statement. I think it's been helpful, number one. Number two, I believe that the head prosecutor has been changed as well. I think that's a fact. I believe that to be true. And number three, Tom is a big fan, frankly, of Kevin Warsh. So that proceeding going away allows for us to get the Fed fully functioning and back on target. We have some really important issues that we need to focus on, and the Federal Reserve should be a part of that.
Yep. And so just in terms of timing, when would you imagine there'd be hearings on the Kevin Warsh appointment?
We got the final paperwork from the administration just a week or so ago. So we're now in the process of looking at our calendar and getting him on board as soon as possible. We can start the hearing process as soon as possible from my perspective. And then Tom Tillis, I think, will be a part of the yays on the committee. So I'm excited about getting him started.
Do you know what Democrats want to do DHS? Do you know?
I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody knows. I mean, listen, here's what we know for sure. The talking point of ICE is just a talking point. ICE has been funded essentially through 2029. So holding up the Department of Homeland Security in the midst of a conflict with Iran, seeing some of the domestic activity that we've seen recently is just insane from my perspective. Homeland Security needs to be funded. It needs to be funded immediately. To every Democrat listening to this show, please do the job you were elected to do. Protect America first. That is a core requirement of being a member of Congress. I would simply say this. Once again, I want to reinforce this point. ICE has been funded through 2029. So anyone who suggests that they're holding up Department of Homeland Security to keep ICE from getting their money, they already have their money. Who doesn't have a paycheck right now? The TSA folks who are trying to keep our airports and our air travel safe. We saw 4-hour lines throughout Texas, Houston, Dallas, and all around the country. Get the job done. Pay people who are doing their jobs and simply want to do their jobs while being paid. Some of these folks, Joe, Andrew, Becky, are working paycheck to paycheck, and it is a negative, devastating impact that is unnecessary for the political fight that is about a point, not making a difference, because ICE is funded for the next 4 years.
All right,
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Good to have you on this morning.
Thank y'all.
See you again.
Look forward to it. Appreciate it.
All right, it's still to come as we watch the market. I don't know what it was in the CPI. It could be anything. Obviously, we had a war going on and the Strait, all the different variables. But we're now down, as you can see, almost 230 points on the Dow. Coming up,
Yeah, we're
finance
right at the
professor
low
and
from
former
yesterday.
Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester with reaction to the CPI data. And let's look at the futures. I was just
Those are
referring
some
to.
brows,
they have sold
dude.
off a little bit following the numbers at 8:30. We'll be right back.
All right. We don't really need that for right now. Folks, what are your initial thoughts? CPI, the Consumer Price Index, just came out, and it was at expectation. If you're joining us right now, you're a little late to class, but I'm not going to hold that against you. Consumer prices rose 2.4% annually in February as expected. So, in fact, all the numbers were at expectations. The month over month, the core month over month, the year over year, and the core year over year, everything came in at expectation. And you could see the initial reaction was a wick up. And since then, we've been fading it. And right now, we're coming up on the very important technical level of yesterday's low on the S&P 500. And we're not that far away from it on the NASDAQ. So I have a couple questions for all of you. And let me make sure that I have chat up so I could see you guys. So my very, very first question for all of you is, well, first of all, why did this get moved? Hang on. There's like a little bit that's going to bother me. There we go. All right. I think that's exactly where it should be. All right. Perfect. Let me lock that in. Now that I have the chat up above my head and I can see it properly, my very, very first question is, how many of you were able to use either the pop to the upside or the fade to the downside to pass an apex test? This is probably the biggest reason to have been in here early today, is just the reminder that this is the final day. This is the final trading session to take advantage of the current 80% off deal at Apex. Obviously, this deal is to celebrate their new accounts. The end of day drawdown, no payout denials, no MAE, no 5-to-1 risk reward, 50% consistency. That's for the performance accounts. 5 days only to get paid out. A lot of great new rules. In my personal opinion, the end of day drawdown 150K account is the best option. That's a personal opinion. Obviously, you should be trading whatever accounts you think are best for you and increase your odds of being successful. Like I said, for me, I truly believe the end of day drawdown 150K accounts are the best option. And right now with that code Goonie, you could get those accounts for like $60. So a pretty solid deal. So my first question to all of you is, whether this pump to the upside and then the drop to the downside, how many of you were able to take advantage of that? Maybe you took advantage of it, of the movement in oil. Maybe you took advantage of it in the NASDAQ itself. Maybe even something like silver or gold. Actually, speaking of that, how did they move? Silver got hit. That was definitely an opportunity to pass the test. Gold. Oh, actually, no. I don't think you could trade silver or gold on Apex. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not much of a metals trader, so but I don't think you could do that even for the evals. So please correct me if I'm wrong on that. So did you guys pass the test? Did you not pass the test? Where are you guys at with that one? Where are you at with that one? That is the first pop quiz of the day. I was walking the dog. Well, that's cool. I would rather also be spending a time with a loved pet, whether dog, cat, fish, turtle. I completely understand that. Can't do silver or gold. I was saying it and then I was like, hang on, you used to be able to do it. I tried it once, blew out accounts super, super quick and never came back to it. Got stopped out first. All right. Unfortunate. Well, I do want to point out the fact that if you were unlucky in just like the 50-50 flip there, today's stability is incredibly low. We're at 2%. There's negative gamma above. There's negative gamma below. So what does this mean? That means in the short time frames, we're still going to have big movements. And based on the contract sizes you're allowed to trade and the money that you need to pass the test, you only have to be a little bit right, because this is probably going to get moving a lot. So obviously market open, there's going to be volatility there, probably around 10 a.m. We're going to have more volatility there. Or even if you're just waiting for your core signals to actually fire, or whatever your favorite trade setup is, there's a good chance that if you're quote unquote on the right side of it, that you're really going to have some movement. So I just want to point that out to you, that there's very low stability, negative gamma everywhere to be seen. So it is a prime environment to pass these tests, but also that does cut both ways. If you're trading a funded account, well, if you're on the wrong side of it, that's not so good. Of course, I guess if you're on the right side of it, you could get a lot of funded gains. But if you're on the wrong side of it, you could either hit your max drawdown or the DLL very, very quickly. So this is a, I guess, friendly neighborhood reminder to size down. The market's always going to be here. This isn't one of those times that you have to be ripping it with those hero-sized positions and max tilt on those funded accounts. If you want to do that to try to pass the one-day test, hey, I wish you the best of luck. But I would have strongly argued that is not the optimal behavior that you're going to want to have, especially when it comes to the world of trading those funded accounts. So just want to call that out to everyone. All right, I'm seeing some people saying they passed, other people unlucky, but remember, today there's going to be a lot. Well, technically the game hasn't even started yet today. We're just in the warm-up, so there's a lot of time left in today's session. So that could be a lot of time to improve. That could be a lot of time to dig yourself further in a hole. Just get ready for extreme volatility. Get ready for extreme movement, and obviously, as I do things, I'm going to call it out to you. If I minimize this, can you guys see what I'm doing over here? All right, I need to move myself over here. Okay, cool. You can see I haven't done anything. I did my little scalp trade on FFN. You can see I already hit the profit target, 159, 159, 159. These are my FFN evals, and today was actually that day 7, so I did successfully pass them. So now I need to upgrade them to FFNX. But also what's on FFN is the 7 PVs. These are already the fully funded accounts, and I'm feeling real good about them. They're trading at about 158,000, so I have about $8,000 worth of buffer. I was doing some back of the napkin math on these FFNs. I don't think I can take payouts on them. I want to say I have to hit like either 162 or 163,000, something like that. So I need to figure that out with FFNs. These Tradeifys, they're evals. I'm trying to hit another $2,500 of profit. Theoretically, I could do that today. 2,500, sorry, poor mental math. I'm trading on a new account to see if I like this firm, so I'm just test driving if that's a whole new one. And then I do have funded Lucids, which right now, these Lucids and these FFNs at the current moment are my pride and joy because those are all the funded accounts that I could theoretically be getting money from if I'm doing well. And can someone help me out on this? To all the people in here who are Lucid pros, and you know what's going on with Lucid. So I believe I had Lucid Flex right here. Lucid Flex funded. That's what the LFF stands for. I have a question for all of you. Did they recently change the rules where when you go from funded to live accounts that they no longer let you bring a buffer with you? I was talking about this in the Goonie Trading Discord yesterday, which, whatever, shameless plug, get into the Goonie Trading Discord if you want to trade with me. I feel like when I read the rules 2 weeks ago, there was a capability to go from a funded account to a live account, and you had some of the buffer that you already built up, and then there was this escrow methodology of the longer you traded and the profits that you had, they gave you more and more money from the money you brought over. Am I taking crazy pills? Am I I swear I read that 2 weeks ago. So once again, to all the people in here who are using Lucid, I guess this question is directly related to you, because now when I go to their website, it looks as if you can't do that. Let me go to the FAQ. I was looking over here. Here's their FAQ, Lucid Flex, Direct. It's this live and the live max. So, hang on, let me go back. Let me go to the new live structure. So right here, this is once again very specific to Lucid. After receiving the final payout number 5 on their plan. So this is when you get upgraded after receiving a significant number of lifetime payouts, exceptional performance and sim funded. They have previously been moved to live. So, this is just, I suppose, what you could trade in live. But the thing that jumped out to me was the starting value. Traders receive 1 live. All right, we already did that. Right here. All live accounts begin with 0 starting balance, daily payouts, end of day drawdown, no daily loss limit. But is it this line that I have highlighted? Is that different than normal? Is that different? The buffer only a certain amount, i.e. IIRC. I don't know what IIRC stands for. That sounds like a cool new acronym that I'm just not knowledgeable. It was a buffer only to a certain amount, i.e. AK. That's what I thought, but now I'm not seeing anything about that. And I guess my question is, did Lucid make this update recently and I just was out of the loop? Did it happen when I was in Toronto or something? because right now all live accounts begin with $0, and I'm not seeing anything about bringing buffer over or anything like that. If a trader moves with 5x with one each, they receive 4,500 bonus each bonus. So wait. Where are you seeing this bonus? Hang on. If a trader moves live with 5x 150K accounts and makes 4,500 in each, they earn 4,500 profit. They receive 4,500 bonus. Each account now sits at 9,000. That's 45,000 total of live capital across them. Yeah, no. But that's not your escrow. That's you start with 0. That's you starting with 0 right here, 0 starting balance, and then trading well and getting this bonus. That's nothing with bringing over the buffer from your funded account to your live account. We're talking about two separate things there. They shifted to a $0 start, but you get bonuses now. So, okay, I guess I'm not taking crazy pills. And I guess to like really drive the final nail in this, did this change all happen within like the last week or two? Yeah, they removed the buffer to give you the bonus. Okay, so that sounds like it's the swap where they got rid of you bringing over the buffer from your funded account, but then if you trade well out of the gate on a live one, you get these bonuses. So on a 150K account, if you make 4.5K, you get an extra 4.5K, thus doubling your buffer. And then on a 50K account, obviously 2K, and you get a 2K. So basically, you get a bonus as soon as you fill out your buffer. If you max out your buffer on a live account, they literally double it up for you. They changed it on 227. Okay. Anyway, so this is the problem that I ran into then yesterday, and I need you guys to like make sure that, remember, I have a little case of the sniffles, so maybe I'm looking at this improperly. On a 150K account, you can only take out $3,000 per payout, and you have to take out $3,000. You have to have at least $6,000 in your account. 50% of the profit up to $3,000. So the most you could take out per payout is $3,000, and to have that, you have to have at least $6,000 in your account. My question to all of you is, if you're allowed 5 payouts, 5 times 3 is 15,000. You have to have that extra buffer of 3,000. So instead of 15,000, 15,000 plus 3,000 is now 18,000. Is there any advantage on these accounts whatsoever to go above 18,000? Am I missing some basic math here? But if you're only allowed 5 payouts of 3,000 each, that's 15,000 to be able to get it, 50% of your profit. So you need to at least have 6,000 in profit. So you need a buffer of extra 3. 15 plus 3 is 18. My real question is there, right here, I'm at 167. Is there any point for me whatsoever to exceeding 168? Am I missing something? Remember, I just started with Lucid in the month of February, so like I'm a little bit new to the game here. But the way I read the rules, the way I interpret the rules, I don't know if there's a point in me doing a pedal to the metal situation, because any extra money I get, I can't actually receive that. I mean, I guess you could argue that it's more buffer, but even on that, I already got a payout. So I'm not even at 18. I'm down to 115 because I've already done one payout from all of these. What if you spend more on buying accounts? You're only allowed to have 5 funded accounts at a time, and any extra evals you have when you go to live, you lose. So the concept of having accounts in reserve, you lose those when you go to the live if you make it all the way to the live. But once again, that's after 5 full payouts, and obviously not many traders make it that far. Don't you need a minimum amount per trading day? The 250. So that would actually argue even less, because it's a 5-day cycle. So if you're going for 250, that's an extra 1.25K per cycle. And you would basically multiply that by how many cycles you have left. I have 4 cycles left. So that's $5,000. So really, instead of 165, I should only be at 160. That would be like the theoretical one, like perfect, where you're not like wasting any of your buffer whatsoever. And if you do that math, like literally, I'm already above it on all of these Lucids. So coming into today, I was deeply thinking about that of like, I don't even know if I should keep trading on these, because I've pretty much maxed out what I can do. I just need to, as you like astutely pointed out, I just need to do the 250 per day. And as long as I'm hitting that and like not spiraling, I mean, yeah, maybe you want a little bit of buffer. Maybe you're not going to hit the 250 every single day. Obviously, that's what, 12 and a half points. So you need to get 12 and a half points per NQ contract to be able to hit that. But for me, maybe the argument is have a little bit of buffer just in case maybe some days you lose the 250 instead of making the 250. Like, that's fair. But it feels like the way I've been trading lately, where I'm making like 1K, 2K, 3K, and like really going for it, it feels like maybe that's a misstep on these Lucids at the current point. I was trading it aggressively because I thought you could bring over more money to the live program, but apparently as of February 27th, they changed that. Careful or you don't give your brain a Charlie horse with this deep thinking. Dude, it's a big risk I have to take. Big risk. The live account is a punishment for trading well. Is it actually a punishment? Because then from there, you're completely uncapped. I understand what you're saying in terms of you lose your buffer. Okay, like that's a little bit of a bummer. But from there, you're kind of no longer tethered. So I suppose it depends on how you're looking at it. Is the glass half full? Is it half empty? But by the time you actually get to the legitimate live program, now you get daily payouts. Now you don't, like, not only do you now get daily payouts, but you're uncapped. Like you could just keep going. You have there's no longer the 5-day pay period. There's no longer the requirement of the $250. You don't have to trade for 5 days. You can take the money whenever you want. So I understand what you're saying in terms of like, it's a bummer you don't have that buffer that you built up, but then you're finally trading like Django Unchained, you know, like you just get to rip what you want to rip. Don't they have support to answer your questions? I thought you guys were my support. Sorry, maybe I like misunderstood that, but I thought you guys were my support. Also, you get moved to live after 5 payouts instead of 6. Not sure if you said that. Oh, I never even knew, honestly, what the number was. Oh, we're getting a nice pop now, by the way. Is Matt trading people now? I'm trying to get into the business. I've been MIA. Did you get an Apex payout? I did not. I wasn't denied either. I'm honestly just waiting. That's why you don't see any Apex accounts here. I mean, I could show them to you. I'll load in. We'll load it into the old mainframe right there. There's all my pay. There's all my accounts still. I still have them. I'm just blocked from trading them. But there's all those Apex accounts in all their glory right here. The highlighted one's the first one. You could count them up. I have all 20. I have 15 of the 50K accounts that ran up to 117,000. And then I have 5 of the 150K accounts that ran up to 4,000 each. And I was frozen out on February 3rd. So right now, I mean, just no response is the big update. And honestly, like, I guess to be clear, I do understand it from a business perspective. Like, this is a large amount of money. We are talking about like literally someone sending another human in one wire $1 million. So I get that you have to do serious AML, KYC, and then on top of it, I think I just got unlucky with the fact that there's a lot of drama right now in the world of Apex. So there's drama with other influencers who were caught cheating the system. They're in the middle of rolling out new accounts. So I have a feeling that I just got really, really unlucky with the timing of my request. So like, I think they literally just don't necessarily have enough like man hours in the day to like try to do all this at once. And even when things were less dramatic and they weren't rolling out new accounts, I reached out to all the people I could find who historically got a 7-figure payout. And all of those people, the fastest one I ever heard of was 2 weeks. The longest one I heard of was 6 weeks. I'm pretty much in the middle of that right now. I'm at 4 weeks right now. So, and please keep in mind, that was the time frames I heard of before all the craziness was hitting the fan. Like I said, there's a lot of drama with influencers who they caught cheating and they kicked them from the system and they were lying about the results and they were trying to get Discord signups and affiliate signups. And actually there was just an email about it yesterday and they like officially declared that some of the biggest coupon codes that people were using are like no longer happening. So on the influencer side, it sounds like they're putting out some fires because once again, they caught people cheating the system, which like good, they should get kicked from the system because they were cheating the system. And then from there, it just so happens that they revamped their entire website. They rolled out entirely new accounts. So from a business perspective, like I'm running a business, I get that sometimes things get hectic. Now, from an emotional standpoint, from an anxiety standpoint, it hasn't been the most fun for me. Like it's not fun waiting around to find out if like you're going to become a millionaire or not. So like I'm waiting, but like I do get it, like honestly, and like when I explain it that way, I think many of you also get it of like, yeah, dude, it probably is going to take a while because beyond the KYC, beyond the AML, beyond the influencer drama, beyond all the new accounts, they literally have to go through all of your trades. They're going to look through all my trades to make sure that I didn't violate any of the rules. Now, I can tell you right now, God's honest truth, I don't think I did. I've been honest about this. I know I had some soft breaches with the MAE when I didn't fully get what it was. And then I changed how it was trading. It wasn't even that many. And even since I had the soft breach on MAE, I had multiple approved payouts from that point. So basically, I had a denied payout. They said, you broke the MAE. I said, oh, crap, that was a stupid mistake. I changed how I traded. No longer broke the MAE. Payout approved, payout approved, payout approved. So like, I think I'm good. I wasn't hedging my accounts. I wasn't trading gold in one way and silver in a different way. I streamed it every single day to you guys. I gave you guys every single Twitter update. I was trading all the accounts together. I wasn't doing like weird little scalping techniques. Like God's honest truth is I'm pretty sure I'm fully above board, and they're obviously just double checking that on their end. So it's going to take time. I feel like it's going to be one of those things where like I least expect it, I'm just going to get an email, or when I least expect it, I'm going to get a call from the CEO saying, hey, where do we send this $1 million to? I think it's going to truly be one of those things where like my mind is a million miles away and I'm like, for the first time in a couple weeks, not thinking about Apex at all. Obviously, it takes up a lot of my mental space, just kind of being anxious, waiting for the payout. But I think it's going to be one of those things, or just like cosmic irony, cosmic comedy, where like I'm just finally not expecting it, and then boom, I get a call, I get an email, I get some sort of update, and obviously as soon as I know, I'm gonna let you guys know. But that's the situation. I bet everything I own that Matt is getting his payout, probably planning a big announcement about it. Dude, I would love for that to happen. But honestly, folks, I don't have any news for you. I wish I were this good at acting. Like, you know, I wish I could be if I knew something, planning it big, holding it in. But like, no, man, just waiting. Just waiting. But one of these days, I'm going to get an answer. And as soon as I get that answer, I will let you guys know. And until then, just because like I'm actually not allowed to trade those accounts, like I'm frozen out. That's why I've been heavily trading all these other accounts. Obviously, we've been partnered up with FFN for a while. Lucid is new since of February. And I don't know, I guess I technically have an affiliate fill on Tradeify, but I feel like I have the least warm reception with that company. But obviously, I'm trading with them as well. Right now, still trying to work on getting my first big payout from them. And I was really, really close to it, but I messed up late last week. So now I'm back into the eval stage. So we're going to see how it's all going. So trading on those new accounts. But once again, in the meantime, just because I'm not allowed to trade on it, this is a sick deal from Apex. And it's the final day, 80% off. Take advantage of it. I gave you my personal opinions. The end of day drawdown 150K account is by far my favorite. With all these new rules, it is like clearly the best in my personal opinion. And you could take that test for as cheap as like $60 right now. And for a 150K account, that is a really, really good deal. So I just wanted to call that out, that right now, I understand that there's other influencers who are having a tough time with Apex. And from my end, nothing but love. I mean, it's smooth sailing with me. And I think it's just one of those things that the people who are kind of in the drama with it are people who are just trying to cheat the system. I think it's honestly just that simple. And for all the people who weren't trying to cheat the system, well, everything's like business as normal. So I guess that's my only like real comments there. But anyway, very quickly before the market gets rocking, if you're just joining in right now, we did get the inflation numbers. Consumer prices rose 2.4%. That was at expectation. And then this is in the face of some crazy stuff happening with energy and oil. CPI report today, inflation holds steady at 2.4%. Oil forges higher on Gulf disruption. So the overall market, we basically found support at yesterday's low in terms of the S&P 500. And looking at oil was green, and now it's actually giving a little bit of it back. So kind of, I guess you could argue that it's unchanged. Trump says the Iran war is nearly won, but Israel has other ideas. Israel is sticking with its overreaching goals of creating the conditions for regime change in Tehran. Before, when we were listening to Rick and Steve and I guess the team over at CNBC Squawk Box, we were looking through some of the poly market numbers, and right now it doesn't, I don't know, the odds are changing, but it doesn't seem like this is necessarily going to be ending like super soon, as in like today, this week, or maybe not even necessarily this month. But as soon as you start to look at the odds, and I assume this situation is very dynamic, but by the time you start to like extend all the way out to June, like the summer time period, that's when it seems as if like things are all like expected. Obviously, knock on wood, fingers crossed. It seems that's what the things are expected to actually be calming down. The IEA proposes largest ever oil release from strategic reserves. Countries to decide Wednesday, today, whether to release oil stocks in an attempt to tame crude prices. Now, obviously, when crude is ripping to the high heavens, not only does that make just generically things more expensive, because crude is a very, very important commodity for all forms of, I guess, production, and that's just really the tip of the iceberg. But as, once again, Rick and Steve were alluding to, the longer prices remain elevated, we're going to see that reflected in inflation. And if inflation continually comes in higher, especially with the job market not having the best numbers, that's going to be putting a lot of pressure on the Fed, not to mention that come May, we're going to have a whole new Fed chair. So this situation of oil getting crazy and what it means for an inflation, especially with the most recent jobs numbers that we got last Friday, where jobs came in way less than expected, i.e. the labor market was way softer than expected, it does make the overall situation rather complicated. So just a thing to be paying attention to. 3 cargo ships struck off Iran's coast, UK says, including one in the Strait of Hormuz. So we're getting updates yesterday, and this caused a little bit of chaos in the market, where they were saying that they were like laying mines, and then we had some pictures, I believe, of a Turkey-based ship with a giant hole of it. I guess Iran like sent a missile at that one. So please make no mistake about it. Like, the conflict is currently alive and well, and obviously just any human in this planet, we're hoping that it can calm down rather quickly. Iran sends millions of oils of barrels to China through the Strait of Hormuz, even as war chokes the waterway. So we talked about this about a week ago. And I know that it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory. I know it's a little bit of my tinfoil hats on, a little bit too tight. I understand that there's big things going on in Iran. I understand that there was big things going on in Venezuela. But I don't necessarily think that it's mutually exclusive that our actions in Venezuela and Iran might be directly tied to China, and more specifically the fact that President Trump and President Xi are about to have a big summit and talk about trade. And going into it, it seems as if the U.S. is putting in a lot of effort to cripple furthermore the economy of China. And when I say furthermore, remember just last week that China reported the expectation for the lowest economic growth since the 1990s. We're talking a 3-decade low. So right now, between the real estate crisis, the shadow banking, general populist revolt, and other weakening signs of their economy, China's on the ropes. And obviously, China, a big production house, they need oil. Well, they are some of the biggest consumers of oil from, guess what? Iran and Venezuela. What have we done over the past, 4 weeks, 6 weeks? Well, we basically said no more oil from Iran or Venezuela to anywhere. And if it does go anywhere, we're going to take over the ships ourselves. So I get it. I'm not a politician. I'm not a military strategist. Maybe I'm completely misreading the situation. I just am, I find it to be a very odd coincidence that all this could be happening right now and for it to not be related. So like I said, maybe my tinfoil hat's on a little bit too tight, but I just wanted to be pointing that out to everyone because also maybe it's on just the proper snugness. Breaking, Iran announces that facilities associated with major U.S. technology companies will become targets next. They specifically know Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA, IBM, Oracle, and Palantir are all potential targets across Israel, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi. We read this a little bit last week. We know that there was already an Amazon and a Microsoft data center attacked. And it's one thing if you get onto Bill Gates' bad side, whatever, he's Bill Gates, he's a walking marshmallow. But to get on Jeff Bezos' bad side, that guy is juiced to the high heavens. They are like literally pissing off the modern day Captain America reptile dude who is a sociopath. And he's not going to have an issue just wiping you off the planet himself. So I don't know. If you're going to go after these big tech companies, maybe go after the ones where the CEOs have more of like a jellyfish spine rather than anything else. But there's a couple on this list. Dude, steer clear of Amazon. Steer clear of Oracle. Steer clear of Palantir. There's a couple people here. You don't need another enemy. You're already fighting the U.S. So to just add specific private sector enemies to the list doesn't seem right to me. But hey, as much as I don't control the military of the U.S., I also don't control the military of Iran, so not really my decision. All right, the big note of the day was CPI. Came out at expectation. The initial reaction was a quick pop-up. We sold off, and now the market actually in real time is recovering pretty nicely, bouncing off that low of yesterday. The Qs, in fact, are fighting to go green. We even have Bitcoin, a really, really nice pop-off of 69,000 all the way up to 70,000, while crude is currently going flat. With respect to individual equities, there are still some earnings, but we're technically not in earnings season anymore. The one I want to call out is Oracle. Oracle reported after the market closed, and it is looking really, really good. Oracle is currently up 10%. Yes, you heard me right. ORCL, the stock that has been getting its teeth kicked in ever since September, is getting a very nice 10% pop in real time. Oracle shares jump as AI demand outpaces supply. Cloud computing company restructures development teams as AI models become more efficient. AI chipmaker Cerebras name drop by Oracle alongside NVIDIA and AMD. So just another sign that the AI trade is still very much alive and well. Pivoting a little bit, Meta gets its social networks from AI agents with acquisition of viral Moltbook platform. So Meta making some moves here. Moltbook, the viral social media platform exclusively for AI agents, was acquired by Meta, the Facebook parent company, confirmed. The deal was first reported by Axios. Moltbook was built for OpenClaw agents, a separate startup. So basically it's social media, but it's only social media for AI, and Meta wanted to get in on that. Obviously here you can see the initial reaction on Meta up slightly. So really Meta stock hasn't been doing much, not much up, not much down, if anything, just going sideways. I'm looking forward to break out of this Don-Chain, this Darvis box, whatever you want to call it, but either above 672 or below 626. So we have this $50 range in that I'm just waiting for something to happen. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. It is free. I tell you guys this every single day. And then yet, I know not all of you are signed up for it. It is 100% free. It's always been free, always will be free. This is just a little bit of a way to me to give back to you guys. Every single Sunday to your email inbox, I give you a breakdown of what's going on in the market. I give you a little cheat sheet for earnings. I give you a call out for all the major macroeconomic events. For example, today, Wednesday, March the 11th, CPI report already happened. And then at 1 p.m. this afternoon, we are going to have the 10-year note auction. Tomorrow, normal initial jobless claims. And then Friday is another big day of this week. PCE, GDP, durable goods, JOLTS job openings, and consumer sentiment. Friday is going to be wild. And then probably most useful, especially for my day traders, for my scalp traders, I do give you the seasonality of each individual trading day. This is based on the S&P 500 futures market. Historically, over the past 27 years, the bulls have won this day 57% of the time. So you could argue that the bulls have a 7% edge. But then by the time you dive into the profit factor and the overall bias, you're going to realize that even though the bulls win more often, when the bears win, they win with greater size, which is why this bias is actually more on the bearish side today. Tomorrow, also bearish. And then Friday is actually leaning bullish with a very nice profit factor of 2.27. So basically, today, tomorrow, favored by the bears from the perspective of seasonality. And then to conclude the week, even though the bulls don't win half the time, when they do win, they win with very nice size. So pretty much the opposite of today is probably a good way to be thinking about it. So like I said, my mod will drop that in chat. He just did. It's in the description of the video, mattkohrs.locals.com. This newsletter is free for everyone. Since today is the day of inflation, and yes, CPI came out at expectation in the realm of 2%, I do want to let you know that I don't agree with it. Someone earlier today asked me, what are the odds that these numbers are quote unquote cooked? I think 99%. If you look into any of the methodology of how these numbers are obtained, it's kind of bullshit. So I very, very much trust Trueflation way, way more than I trust the CPI, the PCE, and any other government reported inflation. So is there inflation? I do believe there's inflation. I just think it's a lot closer to 1% than I think it's closer to 2.5%, or whatever the government is currently giving us. The methodology of the government reported inflation, it's actually ludicrous. And like I said, when you look into it of how they source those numbers, you'll probably think it's like the dumbest thing ever. And then Trueflation on the other side is looking at like millions and millions of data points every single day, every single week, and actually letting you know the changes. So to me, this is a much better reflection. So is there inflation? Yes. I just think it's about half of what is being reported by the government. Why would the government want to report higher inflation? I'm not saying they want to do that. I'm saying that they're actually just stupid in how they get their numbers. I'm arguing that it's really, really poor math. Did you know that 40%, listen to me on this one, 40%, 40, almost half of the CPI numbers come from a dude sitting at a government desk, and it's their personal best estimate of what's going on? Like, isn't that insane? And whatever, maybe you don't believe me, fact check me on it. Seriously, go fact check me on that. 40% of the CPI is a employee of the government, their best estimate of what's going on. So to your question of why would they want to report higher? I don't think they want to report higher or lower. I think they're just like actually giving us inaccurate, like just it's their stupid guesses. I just don't think they, surprise, the government's incompetent. So I just think they are like massively inaccurate. I don't think they're intentionally trying to go higher or lower. I think they're just like literally bad at their job. It's a vibe. Yeah. I mean, yeah, 40% of it is like actually legitimately just a vibe. I mean, we could go on for hours about this. Talking about the Bureau of Labor Statistics, when you are reporting the job numbers that we just like missed dramatically, and then also when they update the previous numbers, they're like, wow, how are we so off? Did you know that the BLS literally just calls people, and whoever picks up their phone in certain areas, they just ask them, hey, are you employed? Are people in your household employed? It's like most of the data for the BLS is literal fucking phone calls, and they're just calling random areas and saying, do you have a job? And then people say yes or no. Who knows if they're being honest or not being honest? Who knows who they're calling? At this day and age, who's picking up a random phone call anyway? It's bullshit. Like it really, in this day and age of AI and technology and data from the government, you would think that you could just look at payroll data. You think you could have other measures of the economy. You think you could use things like Trueflation and give us like actual data. Another one that I could go on forever about is the Michigan numbers. Those numbers, the Michigan inflation expectations, it is one of the most highly politicized economic reports of all time. And it just happens to do that the college world is a very left-leaning apparatus, and they just basically go around and ask other college people what's going on. So surprise, surprise, when there's a right-leaning government or administration, the numbers are commonly bad. Tom Lee of Fundstrat, he had a really good clip on CNBC. Feel free to look it up. He was going on and on about how like literally we should just not trust the Michigan numbers at all. But then yet every single time this happens, the market reacts. So clearly, there is enough of, I guess, interest in these numbers that it can drive the market higher or lower. And we have to appreciate that, because whether the market's going up or down, like, we're either making or losing money, especially if you're in an active trade. And I will respect it, because it could either make me or lose me money. But that doesn't mean I trust these numbers at all. I want to be like on the record being very, very clear about that these numbers are actually bullshit. Do you think inflation would be actually down if they looked into no, I told you what I exactly think inflation is. I don't think it, hang on, I'm trying to go to trueflation. I believe the best measure of inflation in the United States is trueflation. So do I think it's down? No, it's not a negative number. We don't have deflation. I'm giving you the number right here, 1.08. The U.S. government is reporting 2.4. So is there inflation? Yes, there is inflation. I'm showing it to you. I just don't think the number is as high as it's reported to be. So I think the way you frame that question is wrong. I think it's actually very, very wrong. So I do think there's inflation. I just don't think it's what the government is saying it is. It's actually bad to have deflation. So I think sometimes when you say the word inflation, it's like this like boogeyman thing. But remember, when you have deflation, you're increasing what's referred to as counterparty risk. As money itself becomes less valuable, that means people are stuck in debt covenants with a thing that is like now hurting them. They have to pay back a higher number in terms of like what its purchasing power was. So that increases your counterparty risk, which is a really nerdy way of saying you're going to have a lot of people who won't be able to pay back their debt. So we have inflation because our economic system is going to be a forever expanding credit system. And that's just how it's built. And obviously we can get into the nuances of is that good or is that bad? But in our current system, extreme amounts of deflation would be actually like really, really bad. And extreme amounts of inflation is also really, really bad. You never want extremes. In our economic system, the way we have approached monetary policy and capitalism and just generically our economy, we want to be at our 2% target. That's it. We don't want to be too high. We don't want to be too low. It is the Goldilocks like porridge situation where we want it to be just right. We want there to be a little bit of inflation, not too much, not too little, and we just want to rock from there. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Another fun day in the world's largest casino. Obviously, in the top left, we have the S&P 500. Right out of the gate, we're going for that red to green test, testing the closing value from yesterday. The NASDAQ is already on the green side. Nice recovery from what we saw at 8:30. Bitcoin's looking good, holding 70,000. And then oil is over here chilling at 85. Obviously, we don't normally watch oil, but right now it is a pretty good inverse correlation of what's going on with risk on assets such as equities and crypto themselves. If you want to see another crazy mover, or like if you see something that's moving like crazy, let me know. Oracle would be one of them. It is up 12.5%. Oracle currently crushing. So for those of you in here trading some of those individual equity names, if you would prefer me to have this up on the screen, I'm more than happy to do that, just because sometimes it gives us something interesting to watch. But for me, obviously, I have all my accounts. I've only made one trade today. This was a little scalp trade. So that was it, just to lock in those days. Other than that, I haven't really done any futures trades. I currently have on no options positions, and I'm just waiting for it. And as we're waiting for the market to open, I'll show you options flow and everything like that. I do want to give you a reminder that today is the final trading session. This is your final day to take advantage of Apex's 80% off deal for all their new accounts. Code Goonie, Goonie, will get you a nice fat 80% discount code. My personal favorite is the end of day 150K accounts. I think those ones have the best rules, the best balances. Obviously, that's a personal opinion, but right now you could take that test for as low as $60, which I think is a phenomenal deal. So just wanted to call that out. I should also let you know about all my key levels on the day. Let me go to the 1 minute. As I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white horizontal line. So I always look at those. Those are very important pivot levels. The white box is today's transition zone from the perspective of market makers, bullish above, bearish below, and choppy within. And then the final thing on your screen are these yellow horizontal lines, which is basically just where big money is positioned. Whether it's a positive gamma node, a negative gamma node, it's just where we see big money position. So those are the levels that tell me, oh, maybe pay attention here because you might see a switch up or a continuation in the world of big money. So these are my exact levels on the day. If you want to screenshot this, do that quick. If you want to write them down, do that. I obviously already put them into the Discord, but I guess just to be completely honest and transparent with you, my current bias on the daily chart right here is I'm stuck in neutral. Day trading, I'm okay, 5 minutes pushing bullish, 10 minutes pushing bullish, 30 minutes trying to break out, 4 hours trying to recover, 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 4 hours bullish. So intraday right now, and this can change based on any 5, 10, or 30-minute bar, intraday, I'm now leaning bullish. But on the daily chart, and I had a better explanation of this in the Goonie Trading Discord, I'm stuck in neutral, folks. Right now, I see the structures lower highs and lower lows, but every single time we take a hit, it's bought up. Every time we get up to this cloud, it's rejected. We're just not trending. So it's really, really tough to be confident in your own bias when the market is just telling us that we are not trending whatsoever. So from a daily bar swing perspective, I'm personally stuck in neutral. From an intraday perspective, as of 9:33, and granted, we only have 3 minutes worth of data, okay, I would like the 30-minute to break out here on the S&P 500 in the bottom left. The 5-minute broke out, the 10-minute broke out. The NASDAQ is bullish, so I like that. So maybe the NASDAQ's leading the way. But I just need to be a little bit more patient waiting for this 30-minute chart in the bottom left of your screen. So just waiting to see how that all plays out. Like I said, I currently have no live position. There's only 3% stability in the market. So a lot of negative gamma above, a lot of negative gamma below. So whichever way we get going, we can really get going. Obviously, 6,800 is a big psychological level. And then from there, we might be talking about 6,850. There's support at 6,780. If that doesn't hold, we might be talking about 6,740. So we could be really, really experiencing some ranges today. So that is a good reminder to size down. You don't need to be doing anything too crazy. This is not the time where you have to go like max contracts or anything like that. It's just not the environment. We're already getting enough movement, and especially if you're already trading a leveraged product like futures or like options, you gotta respect your account. You gotta respect your account. Whoever was holding Tesla calls with me this morning, we are winners. What's going on with old Tesla? Oh, up 2.5%. That's nice. And then Oracle's crushing too. So tech is looking good right now. Oracle is crushing. Tesla is crushing. TSM is up a good amount. AMD is up a good amount. Coinbase is up a good amount. MicroStrategy's up. Hut's up. Rum's up. So we have some popular tech names that are definitely having a pretty good day. So like that user just said, I hope you are getting yours. That's looking good. Oracle crushing, Tesla crushing. Even the SPY's trying to go green right here. We keep knocking into the door of the closing value at the SPY. But I just want to be clear, SPX is actually green. It's not always going to like perfectly map over to the each cent value. But you can see here, SPY is not right. It says that we're green by 7 cents. So where does it think that we close at? Oh, am I off by $1? Is that my issue? Am I off? Did I accidentally type in 7.8 when I meant 7.7? Would that make more sense? 66. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry, I had that white line in at the wrong spot. I was going to say, I see SPY is green. I see QQQ is green. So instead of 78.17, it was 77.18. So sorry about that. That's on me. CoreWeave is moving. Someone said CoreWeave up 5.8%. Nice. Okay, we're getting a decent recovery there. It was getting beaten up pretty good. I mean, that was a fall, 100 down to 80. Yeah, so maybe like this double, triple bottom. I would love for this to come back above 87, and I would love for it to not go back below 70. But there is an upside gap fill on CoreWeave to 95, so that could be an interesting play for my swing traders in here. 95. Why is Tesla mooning? Because people are buying and selling it at a higher price than they were. I mean, it's tough to know why people are choosing to do what they're going to do. Maybe some people have algorithms. Some people might be trading news. Other people might have fat finger mistakes. Like, you don't know. What matters is the fact that it's going up. It's really, really tough to ascribe to why things are moving, because it's moving clearly because of trades. And unless you know why every single person in the world or robot in the world is trading at the levels that they are, we're never going to know the actual answer. It's not like you get a little booklet of answers at the end of the day telling you why things went up or down. It's just what matters is that it did go up or down, and it goes up or down by either people buying and selling it at higher prices or buying and selling it at lower prices. Sometimes there's very evident breaking news, such as a CPI report or an earnings or something like that. And that probably like 99% explains the actual movement. But on days like this with Tesla, there's a little bit of news, but I'm also seeing the market go up. And whether you do or don't know the answer of why it's moving, does it matter? Like, I know that might maybe sound a little bit cold or something like that, but seriously, does it matter? You being able to explain why something goes up or down, oh, here was the news. That doesn't make or lose you money. What makes or loses you money, were you on the right side of the trend or were you on the wrong side of the trend? So I remember, like, you explaining the things properly, that doesn't change the P&L in your account. Oil price up, buys Tesla, could be. That could be an interesting sentiment, but once again, that's just maybe why some people are choosing to go long on it. That's not necessarily everyone. Not necessarily everyone. Oh, brother. All right, I need to lock in a little bit here. We're right at 100. Where are we at? Across the board. What time is it? I feel like I do this every single time. There's like the first 10 or 15 minutes, I feel like there's a setup. I take it, and then I always get busted up on that trade, and then I need trade 2 and trade 3 and trade 4 to make the money back for me. But like, I mean, I like this setup. I see higher highs. I see higher lows. I suppose we haven't really checked in on flow quite yet, so maybe we should do that. But I feel like there's always an initial setup that I think I like in the market, and it generally happens pretty early. And then I guess, what is it, 50-50? That sometimes I feel really smart that I took it, and other times I feel really stupid. Mag 7 did pop. It's now going flat. S&P 500 did drop and then caught a bid at 936 until now. Matt, it's not 30 minutes into the day. I mean, I have some trading systems that wait 30 minutes. I have other ones that don't. I don't think that's necessarily the end all be all. I think that's trading strategy specific. I would never say you can never find a reason to trade before 30 minutes. I think there's a lot of times that just waiting, it is beneficial. But to say that that is like, you're just never allowed to do it, I don't know if I agree on that one. When do you think AMC will be delisted? I have no idea. I'm not. One of these days, we're just all going to wake up and we're going to get an update that it got. What is this one? I deeply believe that one day we're all going to wake up. Am I missing breaking news here? No. One day, we're all going to get out of bed. We're going to be brushing our teeth. We're going to be going over the news, and we're going to find out that AMC went bankrupt and like filed for Chapter 11, Chapter 12 bankrupt, or Chapter 13 bankruptcy, something like that. Devil's advocate, yeah. Then you know the patterns and can predict it if the scenario happens again. Nope, not at all. Because once again, you never know if your reasoning for why someone's buying or selling it is right. So inherently, because you never get like the answer sheet, because like you don't know if your assumptions of why people are doing something is right or wrong. So I appreciate you being a devil's advocate, but it just doesn't work. And it doesn't work because we never ever get the clarity of, was your initial assumptions right? Are you still holding rum long term? Yeah, of course. I mean, seeing what they're doing right now, trying to really get into the world of AI infrastructure, I think it is a greatly undervalued stock. Now, to be clear, I don't actively trade it. I own thousands of shares of it, but it's a long-term investment for me. I don't actively trade it. Just because it doesn't work doesn't mean it's not a reason for people to do what? Just because it doesn't work doesn't mean it's not the reason people want to know why. What the fuck are you trying to say? Just because it doesn't work doesn't mean it's not the reason people want to know why. I've now read this multiple times and I have no idea. I'm gonna need someone to translate that one for me, Jesus. I'm gonna need a translation on aisle 3. Want to know why. Just because it doesn't work doesn't mean it's not the reason people want to know why. Yeah, people might want it, but okay, if you want it, cool. I'm letting you know that that's not going to help you make money. There's a lot of things in this world that I want that it just doesn't fucking matter. We all want a lot of things. What this is that then there is what there will be to that is. All right, now you guys are just fucking with me. You're just picking on me because you know I'm all hopped up on Dayquil. Oracle's looking great. Tesla's looking great. Where's Tesla? Here's Tesla. Tesla, big pop, now going flat. And then Oracle, good earnings. And it's still just popping. So let me actually add this one to the list just so you can watch it throughout the day. Here's a look at Tesla, pop, now flat. Oracle, just ripping. And honestly, the options flow is perfectly dictating price. Oracle's ripping, price is ripping. Tesla did rip, now going flat. That's exactly what we're seeing. Don't be unburdened to what has been. You might turn into a word salad. Yeah, we're going to have to call in Kamala. Right, understood. The reason people ask why it moved that way or the other reason is to try to understand so they can use the understanding later. Not that it works, but that's why they want to know. I get why they want to know, and I'm letting them know that they're asking the wrong question. They're inherently wasting their own time. All right, we got to bounce right off that closing value. That is way too zoomed in. It's just like literally informing the audience that I deeply believe it is the incorrect question. Better questions to be asked. You know how in the movie I, Robot? 100. Hang on. So the spy got obliterated, and then we pop back. Where's the Mag 7 at on this one? I don't know if I want to take this one. I don't know. Something about it. I think I need to wait still. Whoever told me to wait for the first half hour, that might be what I'm actually doing today. That might be what I'm doing. What's Jimbo Cramer saying? What's Jimbo up to? Is he saving the world again when he told us there was no end in sight?
Pound cake and a Kohrs bag.
Yeah. Janice, did Nelson win this round?
Yeah, he won.
It's
Good
over
for him. He won that one. Yeah, and hey, speaking of winning, Smucker.
Yes.
I mean, hey, Elliott's
That's
changes
funny.
are great. I met with Mark Smucker, and I was saying, yeah, but the price of coffee,
Oracle's
coffee's
ripping.
collapsed. And by the way, it's 10% of Starbucks, but Starbucks is being left behind. I think that's a mistake. I mean, today it's over par 100. I do think that Starbucks is a huge winner in the collapse of coffee, and so is Smucker. And Smucker, Elliot's going to change that. It's very hard. I mean, like Elliot got in to Constellation Brands, and they couldn't change it. But then again, that's liquor and double rock.
There have been there's a lot of reporting this week on Starbucks in markets where Dutch Bros is starting to encroach, and what does happen to Starbucks traffic.
But I think Starbucks is going to try to go hit them where they ain't, so to speak. Going to go to a lot of cities or not. Where's the ring fence guy? You bring him?
The Morgan Stanley. It was a question. It wasn't a declaration.
I like Morgan Stanley. They're terrific. Ring fence. Don't use that term. Don't use super cycle and don't use ring fence. Don't use those terms.
Yes.
Say, hey, listen, it might be. Use that. It's got Claymore mines.
Well,
I actually don't know if he said a single cohesive thing in that statement. That was just nothing but word salad of just, he was just ripping it. And the way that only Jim Cramer can, but he was just ripping it raw. Well, I'm really happy I didn't take that long. Icarus did fire long, and I was before I took it, I looked over here and I saw that the S&P 500 Delta was getting its face destroyed, so I skipped it, and I'm very happy I did. So let me show you on the 1 minute. Icarus runs on the 1 minute right here. It fired on this bounce and this recovery somewhere between like 75 and 90. It was roughly in there, and I was looking at it. You guys probably saw me. You're like, is he going to go? Is he going to do it? I almost took that trade, and then just to like give it a sanity check, I looked over here and saw that this was just getting destroyed. So I decided to skip the signal, and I am happy I did, because right now that would have cost me $600 per contract. And who knows, maybe it comes back and it bounces, but I'm seeing the 1 minute start to break down on SPX. It's testing on NQ. The 5 minute on ES is breaking down. The 10 minute on ES try to go bullish and it's getting smashed. So I'm actually really, really happy. Shout out to whoever told me, Matt, are you waiting 30 minutes? Because I don't necessarily have to wait 30 minutes with Icarus. Like if the setup's there, the setup's there. But I do appreciate you putting that in my noggin, because that did make me second guess if I want to trade this early. And then inherently it saved me money. So whoever you are an unsung hero of the day, and you get a gold star. I don't know who I'm giving that gold star to. I forget the name, and I don't think there's a way to ever find out who that hero is. But I appreciate you saving me thousands and thousands of dollars. That is very, very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Gold star? It was me? Yeah, but now everyone's going to try to say it was you. Like I said, there's no way to find out, folks. It's impossible for us to scroll back in chat and figure out who it is. So it's kind of like the tomb of the unknown soldier, where like at this point we could do DNA testing and this and that, but it's representative. It's a symbol, folks. That's what I'm really trying to get across to you here. It's a symbol of what's going on. So I'm giving out a gold star to the symbolism of all of those of you in here who give me phenomenal tips, tricks, and new methodologies that maybe I just don't always see your name. Maybe I don't acknowledge you. So like it's a generic gold star into the ether to all of the high quality input that I get from you guys. Just signed on. It was me. See, everyone's trying to take it right now. What happens if we get 3 gold stars? I'd have to check, but I think you become president of the United States, or at least the leader of a small U.S. territory, like American Samoa. Yep, here's the VWAP test. We are officially testing VWAP, a little VWAP kiss. The question is are we going to bounce, or is it going to fail? Now, obviously, you shouldn't be trading off of predictions, but hey, heck, while we're here, what's everyone's best guess? Do you think we're bouncing off of VWAP, or do you think we're breaking through? I could give you some odds on it, but that feels like it would ruin the party. So right here, VWAP's 25,020. Looking back at it, 10 minutes from now, 30 minutes from now, do you think we're wishing we all went long, or do you think we're wishing we all went short? Fail, breaking. I caught SPY. Do yourself a favor and plot 2M 55 EMA high and low bands. 2M. What the hell is 2M? 2M 55 EMA high and low. There's a full payout. Well, regardless, even though I don't know what EMAs you're talking about, that sounds awesome. Short catching, long hard. I went short. VWAP test to fail. Bounce at 10 to 10:30. Flat day, I think. Bounce. We're gonna find out. We're finna find out. Oh, I'm feeling good right now. Well, not. I still feel sick actually, but I feel good that I'm not in a position. I'm not rooting for anything yet. I feel better than I sound. Maybe that's because I actually got sunshine yesterday. Matt, they can't DNA test the unknown soldiers from that era. The military didn't collect DNA from service members back then. That's my entire point is we'll never have a new one of that because now we do collect DNA. So that's why there's never going to be a new unknown soldier or representation of that. Well, I guess VWAP bounce was right. Holy cow. VWAP bounce was the right answer. Holy guacamole, Batman. What was that? Well, to everyone who bought at 20, you're already up 50 points. Congrats to you. That moved real quick. Not to shit on your party or anything. I wouldn't mind to dip back to 50 so I could get involved. I don't want to ruin your party or anything, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of dip. There's a little bit of a dip. But anyway, with respect to the unknown soldier, yes, I did the same middle school, high school tour that everyone in America seemingly does, and we all get taught the exact same things about it. Oh, no. All right. Are we turning? That was a pretty aggressive smack. Are we switching back up here, brother? Dipping guacamole coming. Gary, I think you're right. We're already seeing the dip, and now we're seeing a little bit of that guacamole. Okay. So the Nasdaq is trying to hold bullish. It really is, but the S&P 500 is looking a little suspect, if I do say so myself. The Nasdaq could use a little bit. Well, no. Actually, I like the Nasdaq. It's the S&P 500 that's making me question things. It's making me question things. So I'm hoping that the Nasdaq can look this good, and I'm looking for the S&P 500 to actually improve. If it can just get going. Whatever that recent pop was, if it can just get going. All right, if this were to break out, that's not that bad of risk. That's a 20-point risk. I've taken worse risk in my life. I really have. It's not the end of the world risk.
Order filled.
All right.
Order submitted.
I've taken worse risk in my life. I'm risking $485. It's not my favorite setup. Just as I'm alluding to, basically it's betting that the Nasdaq is quote unquote the right one. It's about to not.
Order filled.
It was not the right. What fucking slippage, man? Dude, slippage. And look at the slippage across the accounts. How can some of these have an extra $120 of slippage? That's just crazy. Anyway, I try to take, let me show it to you right here. I tried to take this breakout, like we sold off, we popped, we pulled back. I try to go. It was a worthwhile signal. Like, I'm not saying it's the best signal I've ever taken in the world, but I honestly, 7 times out of 10, I'm going to take that trade. Maybe even 8 times out of 10, I'm going to take that trade. I didn't want to risk much just because, of course, it could come obviously all the way back to VWAP. I am a little bit bummed out on this slippage. I mean, literally, I'm showing you $110 worth of slippage. But obviously the trend just did not change. Yeah, I like this. Right here. We sold off VWAP, we pop, we pull back, put in the high low, we start to go. It just didn't break that way. I could show you examples of this working out perfectly, and that's the perfect entry of the day. So you can't really get bent out of shape. Remember, most of this game is going to be 50-50 anyway. I was comfortable with the risk at 38. I got a fill at 33. I didn't want to risk 15. I didn't like this setup enough to be risking that many more points. I'd rather keep my risk in control because this is something that I could easily make back in like half of a good trade. So I'd rather be protecting my downside than anything else. Is it going to trigger again? Like, this is pretty much the exact same setup. Maybe I do my sanity check. Mag 7, not doing much. SPY did get hit, popped, pulled back, starting to recover. Fuck, it is going to trigger again. How many times? Is it really going to just chop me up this much today? Oh, fuck.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted.
When in Rome. When in Rome. I am a little bummed out by the extra 5 points of slippage on the rhythmic accounts versus Trade-Evade. It doesn't always go that way. It really doesn't. As a person who's been trading on Trade-Evade and rhythmic now for years, sometimes one of the services is better and seemingly has less slippage, but it's not always consistent. It seemingly goes back and forth. So I can't even sit here and say, oh, like this one always has better or worse slippage. Because sometimes it also helps you. Sometimes the slippage, it's past your profit target and you get extra money.
Order filled. Order filled.
Boom. Dude, this game's so fucking easy. All right, we're already back in the green. Realize, stop to break even. Free trade, we're going fishing.
Attention, attention on the casino floor. We are going fishing. Drop your lure and see if we caught a fish because this one feels big. Buckle down because we don't want to buck you off the ship.
We're going fishing, folks. We're going to see if we catch anything. We're going to see if we can catch anything. Oh, I don't know. At this point, we're ripping it. We're ripping it now, brother. Well, if it does go, all right, obviously 6,800 on SPY is important. I'm going to send an alert there. And then on NQ, what is this overnight high? 125. That's kind of close. Should I take it at 125? That's not a bad. I mean, we're close. I could hit it. It's a nice target. I'll make over $1,000 per account. That's a pretty good day. All right, I'm going to trade my accounts separately.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled. Order canceled.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I think I've lost my mind. All right. What's happening? Mom, I'm making too much money. Should I call my mom and explain? I don't know what the fuck. Fucks. One thing you're gonna, if you haven't figured something out about this show, I'm gonna let you know now. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I want, like, if it hasn't clocked in your fucking brains yet, folks, I don't know what I'm doing. Every single day, I wake up with terror, wondering if chat's going to finally figure out that I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. And thus far, you guys haven't figured it out. So I'm letting you know. I'm just ripping it to you guys raw. I don't, dude. It's just, don't ask me what's happening. What am I doing? I don't know what's happening in the market. I don't know what's happening in my accounts. I don't know what I'm doing, folks. I have no fucking clue. When you know you don't know, that's when you know. Yeah. I read an interesting like quote or meme or joke about trading that I just read this the other day and it resonated with me. In your first year of trading, you realize that you have no idea what's going on. And then in your 10th year of trading, you realize that no one knows what's going on. And I honestly think that like really does summarize trading. Is like, it's one of the few things in this world that no matter how good you get at it, there's too many unknown variables. It's a game of large variance. There's like literally an infinite amount of unknowns where the best people, they're the best people because they get very, very good at recognizing what is known and what is unknown. And they accept the unknowns and they work in that game of high variance just because there are so many unknowns. But when you first start trading, you're like, okay, obviously I'm starting. I don't know a lot of things. And you're always chasing something as if you can finally figure out like the model and the puzzle that is. Jesus, what's going on here? I don't like that. Well, good thing I closed that out when I did. I'm watching the bounce at 100, but I might close everything. Come on, bounce at 100. Moving my stop up, guaranteeing $500 per account. I've already locked in 100. I read that quote and it makes a lot of sense. Like the best traders are the people who finally, they kind of put down this effort of like, oh, I got to figure out the model that perfectly explains everything. And you just get really, really good at operating in the unknowns. You get really good at operating in the chaos. That's what good trading is. Accepting that you don't know is very important and key to making money in the intelligent way. Boston Symphony, you're 100% right. I would honestly say one of the biggest leaps forward I made in my trading career is like understanding that it's, I guess when I was first taught about trading, I thought that if you like studied enough and learned enough, you would finally figure out like this perfect methodology. And then the real secret, like the wizard behind the curtain, like the secret of this world is that it's a game of 50-50. It honestly is. Like instead of, I think there's such a huge focus on being right all the time and jacking up your accuracy and saying, no, I got to be right 70, 80, 90, 95% of the time. When in reality, I think it's easier to make money in this game by saying, hey, I'm actually going to be right half the time. And my goal here is when I'm wrong half the time to make it a really small hit to my account. And when I'm right to make it a really big gain for my account. That was one of the biggest pivots in my mind where I felt like I made a huge leap because like right away, you're then used to losing. Like right here, folks, I've only made 2 trades today. I'm 50-50 today. Like literally in real time, what I'm explaining to you right now has played out in real time. Like 50-50. I made a winning trade and my first trade was a losing trade. And yet I'm massively net ahead because right here, this was my losing trade. Let me zoom in just so you guys can see it a little bit better. I took a shot at it. You know, I ripped a rock at David here, or Goliath, me being David. I took a small loss. I kept the loss small. I was like, oh, I think it's going to go. And it just didn't. And then on the exact same fucking setup, literally Icarus fired the exact same signal. I just took the same signal again, risking roughly the same amount. And then this one exploded massively in my favor. Now, obviously, in hindsight, you could argue, but man, if you held through that, you would have never had the losing trade. Yeah, but what if I held through that and we broke VWAP and kept vomiting? It's the same signal. It's just completely a different outcome. And that's what I'm so sick and tired of in the world of retail trading is every fuck-faced 20-year-old with a Lamborghini is trying to tell you that they know some sort of secret model that no one else has figured out. And if you just like pay them thousands of dollars, they'll teach you this model that endlessly makes you money. You can endlessly make money in trading in the long run, but it is literally impossible for you to do it per trade. I want to be so crystal fucking clear about this. Your goal as a trader should be to be profitable in the long run, but if you think you're going to be profitable in the long run by making money on every single trade, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's just not possible. It is not possible. You will not be making money on every single trade. Thus, your goal should be to, on the times that you lose, whatever percentage it is, it's going to be anywhere from 40 to 60% of the time, you want to make it a survivable hit to your account. And then the times that you're right, 40 to 60% of the time, you want to make it as good of a gain for your account as you possibly can. This idea of like just learning some dweeby fucker's model who he's 25 years old and yet has 80 years of trading experience, and they figured out something that no one at Renaissance or Citadel or Long-Term Capital or Two Sigma has figured out. Like, it's just not what the game is. Like, I deeply believe what I thought trading was and what the stock market was and what a career as a trader was. I think I was taught it wrong. I think my initial ideas of it were inaccurate. And then I think those misunderstandings, this was about to get stopped out. I think they were inaccurate.
Order
Tagged.
filled.
All right. So what did I make? Once again, a little bit of strange slippage. So 400 on these accounts, 1.7K on those accounts, 500 on these accounts. So I don't need to trade these anymore on the Lucids. I'm feeling good on those. I made my 250, and we talked about that buffer earlier today of like what my actual goal was. So these Lucids, honestly, I should just disconnect them because I don't want to keep trading them. Active orders. That's not good. Cancel
Order
all
canceled.
orders. Okay. So I'm going to disconnect the Lucids because there's no point in me trading on them anymore. So those are going to disappear, but I locked in 1.7K on 5, so that's sick. So those should disappear. And then all these other ones, on these FFNs, I've already passed, so there's no point in trading those. So I could trade on the other FFNs, these 7 PVs, and I could trade on the Tradeifys. Let me make sure my trade copier is set up. I always get this question. The trade copier I use is Replicanto. And I just want to make sure that I am good. Any hoozles. Let me set this up. Little bit of technical analysis in this game today. But anyway, as I was alluding to, I think my initial idea of what trading was and how to be successful at trading, I'm not talking about investing, I'm talking about trading, was wrong. And then when you first trade, like whether those ideas come from Hollywood or Instagram posts or the videos you watch, and then you get further into it, and those misconceptions get reinforced by just people saying the dumbest shit. And it is inevitably always a 25-year-old who has 80 years of trading experience. And it's just, it's so bombastic. It's always a pitch along the lines of, hey, as long as you like just give me a couple $1,000s, I'm going to teach you this big bad secret that no one knows. I figured it out, and it's how I make all my money and blah, blah, blah. And first of all, I just want to be awesome, transparent here. Do I run a paid trading group? Yes. GoonieTrading.com. If you want to trade with me, awesome. Would love to have you. We trade futures. We trade options. There's a lot of education videos. There's daily updates. I share a lot of options data. It's just a great community of traders. So if you're looking for a community to trade with, Goonie Trading. But I don't want you to think that I'm like somehow withholding some gigantic fucking secret that you have to pay me for. The gigantic secret, even beyond what is your trading strategy, the biggest secret ever to the world of trading is just never take a big loss. It's always make your losses survivable. Never put yourself into a situation where if you take that loss, if you're in that situation and it goes wrong, that you can't recover from it. That is the biggest secret to the world of being a successful trader. That's the biggest secret in the world of Wall Street. Obviously it's going to be better if you have a good positive expected value trading system, but really bigger than that is it's where is your risk? Can you keep your risk in control? If you can keep your risk in control, you're already better than 95% of the traders. And then if you have a trading system that has positive expected value, then you're better than 99% of the traders. And then if you develop the system internally, your own discipline to keep your risk in control and stick to your system, you're now better than 99.99% of traders. So to be better than 90%, it's keep your risk in control. To be better than 95%, it's keep your risk in control with a positive expected value trading system. And then to be better than 99.9% of traders, it's just to do that and like never deviate from that plan ever. It's just to have that monk-like discipline that you're pretty much always good. That's it. That's it. So like, do I want you in the Goonie Trading Discord? Of course I do, because I think I can help you on that pathway to finding it. But if you're signing up thinking that I'm hooting and hollering and screaming about this penny stock and teaching you some sort of model that's never, ever been done before, no, whatever your trading system is, if you have one, is already probably good. The issue of where you're probably not so happy with it is probably you're just not that good at following your risk. To be completely honest, right now in chat, I don't mean this rhetorically, like I actually want to ask you folks this. How many of you actually legitimately think your trading system is wrong versus how many of you actually think, hey, actually, I think my trading system's good. I think I just every so often get tilted. I go revenge trading. I trade too big and I just take too big of losses. I'd be willing to bet that not many of you in here are like, no, my system is dog shit and I can't figure out a system. I think most of you are like, no, I actually kind of like my system. I'm just having the worst time sticking to it. Like I said, if I had to bet money, I bet most of us, and I'm just saying that because I had the same issue and fuck, sometimes I still have the same issue. Ask everyone in the Discord. I got tilted last Tuesday, lost $25,000. Just like that. I am not saying that I'm some sort of monk who never ever deviates from the plan, but my whole goal is to basically show statistics and trading and methodology that kind of shows if we do stick to the plan, here's how good things can be. So the question is can we find it within ourselves to actually stick to said plan? ICT is goated. Try it. ICT is a fuckface loser who's never had a successful trading year in his entire career. And if you think trading fair value gaps and inverted fair value gaps is the difference between you now losing money and you ideally making money in the future, I have a bridge to Darabithia to sell you, because the guy is nothing but a fucking crackhead loser. He's a loser as a human being. He's a loser as a trader. He's never had any success beyond tricking a lot of dipshit novice people into thinking he somehow knows how to trade. He's such a fucking twat. There's a couple people in this world of trading who definitely deserve to get punched in the face, and he is one of them for sure.
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, let's see if we can recover. I was thinking I got out here at 10:08 because I was like, oh, we're going to revisit VWAP. And I'm kind of watching this trend, and I wanted my fill as close to 100 as possible, especially before this breakout. So I'm front running it a little bit in terms of the technical breakout, but I don't mind it because Icarus fired. So I'd rather be closer in line with Icarus than I am with waiting for the technicals. Like I said, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we touched VWAP. We got as low as 58. VWAP was 39. So we were within 20 points. So like I said, psychologically, I would feel better about the trade had we touched VWAP, bounce, and then started to change structure. When I refer to structure, I'm basically commenting on the, is about to come for me anyway. Yeah, it's about to tag me. Shit, it is. Are we going for VWAP? Do I need to give it room? Is it asking for room to this low? I was trying to use this big bar here. I'm not going to hold it down to VWAP. It's too much risk for this particular setup, for this particular play. Which way are we going? Anyway, I was looking at a combination of not only Icarus firing, obviously overall momentum is bullish, but also the 50% retracement. This blue dash line, I saw that we recovered, hence why I took a trade right past it. Just it is the 50% retracement, which I like the odds surrounding it. Obviously, in the first couple minutes. It hasn't gone well so far, but maybe I should have waited for VWAP at this point. I mean, it was looking strong. We did recover. It was a legitimate signal. It just is seemingly not panning out. Yeah, I mean, even look at this. We touched the 50 EMA, it popped. There's the 50% range. That's actually, it's a good signal. It just didn't work this time. Just did not work this particular time. And I'm
Order
tagged.
filled.
Yep, so we're coming for VWAP. A little bit of a fake out signal. We bounced on the 1 minute. We obviously bounced on the 500 tick. It just, I guess that that little voice in my head saying, oh, I would have preferred it touching VWAP. Maybe that's what we're looking at right now. Once again, VWAP is this white dash line at 25,040. The blue dash line is the 50% level between the intraday high and low all the way up to the first hour. So basically, it's the IB 50% retracement. And knowing my luck, we're not going to hit VWAP, which is what I wanted it to do, and it just knocked me out anyway. Oh, man. If this pops from here after that little fake out, that's going to be a bummer. Now we rip to the high heavens? Probably. But, I mean, it does happen, and it's one of those, like, aw shucks moments. But the opposite scenario, and if you do it enough, it's going to happen, is you go to VWAP, and then you're like, oh, I pray it bounces there as you're holding the long, and then yet it actually just keeps going. And then you have, like, on your hand a massive loser. So, like, you still have to get out at all of your risk points. Yes, the longer you trade, you're going to see many of these where you're like, dude, I just got ticked out for no reason. It's going to happen, but you still have to get out, like, mathematically, because eventually the bad beat's coming your way. And if you don't get out, that could be the time that the trend, like, legitimately changes and it just keeps going. Do you have any thoughts or opinion on Humble Futures? I have no fucking clue what Humble Futures is. Is that a prop firm? Is that a person? Is that an education website? Let's say I'm in the first group and I think my strat sucks, i.e. fire from the hip. How would you go about picking the right one? Well, I would say get a strategy. You don't even have a strategy. Right now, no one really has any viable excuses to not be trading with a strategy. Before, if you didn't necessarily have my background of, hang on. Hang on. Before, if you didn't have a background in statistics and coding, I could understand how maybe like you couldn't figure out a strategy that had positive expected value. But right now, with the advent of AI and the popularity of AI and how incredibly easy they make it, you really don't have an excuse. Like, you just don't. You're just being lazy. Anyone right now can just port in a bunch of data and you could go crazy with AI, asking it a bunch of questions and find the strategy that has net positive expected value, at least based on the data set that you give it. So if you're sitting there right now and you're saying, I don't have a strategy, oh, you're just lazy. Like, it's actually, I could understand a couple years ago if you didn't necessarily have the background, like the domain knowledge. Okay, I'd give you a little bit of an excuse. But now it's almost, I mean, it is inexcusable. Like, you're just being lazy. 1% hit rate can still be a profitable trader if your risk is good. Yeah, it's just, that's when I say expected value, it's the percentage of time you're right multiplied by your average win size. And then you take away the percentage of time you're wrong multiplied by your average loss size. That's it. That's your net expected value. And if your EV is positive, great. Over a large series of data, you're going to make money. If it's negative over a large series of data, you're going to lose money. It's like, it's actually a rather simple math concept. It's just, how often are you right multiplied by your average win size, take away how often you're wrong multiplied by your average loss size. So to the point that you're saying, you can make money only being right 1% of the time. You could also lose money by being right 99% of the time, because once again, it comes to the average of the sizing of, like, if you're right 99 times and you're only making $1, but then on that 100th time that you're wrong, the bad beat, if you lose 1,000, well, you're in the hole a lot. You're in the whole $901. Now, on the flip side, if 99 times you lose $1, but then on the time that you're right, you win 500, well, congrats. You're up by 401. And people don't think of it that way. People, just because it's like an easier concept to wrap your mind around, people in the retail trading space think that just being right the most is like always the same. And there's like this weird conception, I guess misconception really, that you are always going to be betting the same size. And maybe it's because like a 1-to-1 risk to reward is popular. I've never, ever seen compelling math that 1-to-1 is the best way to approach the market. I know that it's really popular, and I see people talking about it all the time in the sim-to-funded futures prop trading space. I don't see it that much in the world of options, but I do see it all the time in futures of like, I trade 1-to-1 risk to reward. And I get it, but to me, it just sounds like they're being lazy with math, because if you're doing 1-to-1 risk to reward, they're just hoping that they're right more than 50% of the time. So they're still focusing on the percentage of like, I just need to be right more often than I'm not. And I get the psychological implications of that, of like, it just feels good to be more right than you are wrong. But you know what? It's better than that feeling is seeing your account go higher and higher and higher. So this entire idea of just like, I just disagree with it. And to be clear here, if you have a 1-to-1 trading strategy, it might be phenomenal. I'm not saying that you can't make money trading a 1-to-1 risk to reward system. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is I've never, ever seen compelling math that tells me that's the best way to do it. Like I think people have said it just as if it's like, hey, it's out there in the universe, and thus because other people have said it, it must be right. There's the VWAP test, or almost the VWAP test. But I guess this is just your friendly reminder that just because it's on the internet does not make it real. I think most people do 1-to-1 because they want to be right more often than not, and most make money on a better RR. Yeah, I get why, but once again, like, it blows my mind that so many retail traders have never stopped to ask the question of like, is that accurate? Like, people just accept random little things as gospel of like, oh, like I heard it before, so like it must be right. No, you should be questioning everything. You should be questioning all of it. Like, I don't give a shit if it feels the best. If you're in this game, you should be in this game to ideally make the most amount of money. Like, that's why I thought we were all here. And just so many traders, they just see random shit on the internet. And then they just, because someone went out of their way to put it on the internet, there's like, almost like I guess like just social validity. Like, that's the social proof that it must be real. And I just so incredibly wholeheartedly disagree with that. I mean, I guess I grew up very much as like a pain in the ass to all my teachers, and I question everything. And I think that's a good thing to question it. I don't think I'm necessarily a contrarian. There are many traders who are contrarians, and they're probably really good at mean reverting. But I think people do exceptionally well in trading if they grew up as that kid who was always the asshole asking why. And I mean, the amount of times I got in trouble in school because like the teachers just like thought I was needling them, and I just always asked why. And I don't think most people are like that. I think most people are inherently very agreeable people, and because they're agreeable people, they I guess think it's shit. Are we breaking down now? We're at 25,000 flat. I'm not saying you have to be a contrarian to be good in this game, but to be good in this game, I think you should question everything. Even like people teach you shit and be like, okay, cool, prove it. Like, cool, give me the evidence of that. There's just too many people who they spout off and say dumb shit like ICT, and then no one questions it. They just like, oh, this like crazy fucking lunatic said something. I guess it's true. And they never think, oh, maybe I should backtest it. Maybe I should just see if it makes any sense whatsoever. And then as soon as you test it, you realize that it's dog shit. And then, of course, because too many people have listened to too many hours of that fucking lunatic just ranting and raving, they don't want to, it's like a sunken fallacy cost. They don't want to feel like they wasted time, so they defend it endlessly. And then because people on the internet defend it endlessly, they still feel good because they see other people defending it. And yet they still can never answer the question of where are all your profits? They can never, ever answer that question. Where are all your profits? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Obviously the egg. No individual organism itself can evolve. But obviously, whenever you have things such as an egg, it's a unique combination of DNA. So the big changes are made at the egg, and then that egg grows up, and then they mate with something else. So people say that as if it's something special, but very, like, anyone who understands basic biology understands that it has to be the egg that comes first. I really cannot understand ICT and how he has such a cult following. Oh, it's because people are retarded. Think about it. Like, think about this. Half of this people in the world are below average intelligence. That's the definition of average intelligence. That doesn't somehow change in the world of, like, trading. Like, literally, half of the people are below average intelligence. That's a mathematical truth. So you, like, his marketing tactic is just to go after those retards. Like, you're never going to tune into an ICT call or stream or watch an ICT trader who all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, this person seems pretty smart. They're all dipshits. They all, like, talk in the same dipshit way. They all say the same dipshit things. And what's more unifying for all of them is they all are losing money. They're all just like, the one thing that really unites all those people is the fact that they're all literally in the red. Someone's asking for flow. Mag 7 was looking good on that pop till 10:01, and then we got that 10 a.m. reversal. Same thing on the S&P 500. We were looking good till 10:01. We had a little bit of a follow through at 10:06, and then the bottom was released. I know a guy making 80 to 100K a month using ICT. I make a 300K a month using ICT. That's interesting because I know a liar in chat. See how that works? You see how that works? You know guys who allegedly make money, and you're apparently making, what was it? 300K a month ICT? Mm-hmm. I'm not calling you a truther. That's for sure. You're definitely not a truther. All right. The Qs. This is also wrong. What is going on with my how did my indicator get so fucked up here? This is not the proper line. What did the Qs close at yesterday? I think 20 or something close enough. No, that's not right. Something's off there. Was that right? Something, it might be like just slow to update. It might have been 68. Was it 78? Am I losing my mind? I don't know. It's roughly in that region, which is what matters. We're not like playing this game to the exact set. I don't make shit, but he's good. Honestly, if he's good, why has he never had a profitable trading year? I don't know. Like, you're probably trolling me, which if you are, I kind of appreciate that because that's like honestly what the internet's built for. But it sounds like after messing around, you're trying to be serious. I don't make shit, but he's good. Who the fuck is Dr. Trades? People always come in here and they like ask me my opinions on people I've never ever heard of. They have like 5 followers. And I mean, I guess once in a blue moon I've heard of them, but it's like super, super rare. Like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Look him up. No. I don't give a fuck about other content creators. I just don't, like, most of them. When you've lived through the cycle of AMC and GME, I kind of distance myself from many of the other content creators because most of them are completely full of shit. And inevitably, not all, but 90% of these influencers and content creators, if you give it enough time, some gigantic scam comes out about them. He makes money on ICT. You said nobody does. Yeah, wait till a giant scam comes out. Do you know how many of these people get caught lying time over time over time over time over time over time? I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's any different. They're creating. I highly doubt he is net profitable. In fact, I'd probably bet my net worth that he is not net profitable. And it's just a game of like showing you what he wants to show you and getting you to fall for the trick of the whole situation. Is it going to save itself at 25,000?
Order filled.
How many people believe that Brian Stonk was making all those millions and millions of dollars? Millions and millions of dollars trading gold and silver and getting signups on it. And then Apex reported that he was just going long in some accounts and short in the other accounts. Content creator, dude, they show you what they want to show you. Do you know how many of them are deathly afraid of showing you all their trades live? It's because they can't trade live in front of people. Like, I don't know, too many people. It does blow my mind that people so easily fall for this bullshit. They don't want to trade live. They always want a Monday morning quarterback. They always want to come up with excuses. All right, I am now looking at the low of yesterday. What is it? 6760 on SPX and on NQ. We're talking about somewhere between 910 and 895, somewhere in this region, right over here. I'm looking at this little low that we made. Let me make it blue just so it stands out a little bit better. I'm looking at 909, the low that we made at 840. This is the low after that CPI report, and then the low at 6 a.m. So somewhere between 909 and 895, 896. What's your opinion on the Max Crosby situation? I'm by no means like some big football guy, but oddly enough, I did see something about it. So what? He was traded from the Raiders to the Ravens, and then out of nowhere, the deal fell through. All I really saw of it was a bunch of memes from Joe Burrow, basically saying like him stopping the deal. Like obviously, it was like a bunch of jokes, which I actually absolutely loved. Hang on.
Order submitted.
He didn't pass the physical? How does what do they say why? I didn't realize it was that. I thought my initial assumption, which I guess I should have looked into it. My initial assumption was that it had something to do with like the money or money cap or something like that. He didn't pass the physical. He pooped his pants during the physical. Of course he didn't. Well, I'm just, like I said, I'm not knowledgeable. Like you're saying it as if I should know he wouldn't have passed possible knee problems. Oh, you guys are yelling. Sorry. I told you I barely know about trading and this is my full-time job. You think I also know about the NFL? And wow, early reports that he pooped his pants. That's kind of crazy. Read Antonio Brown's tweet on it. Raiders did it on purpose to free up cap space to sign a bunch of players. Interesting. So you're saying that the Raiders knew his knee was like fucked up? Starting tomorrow, I will take every trade Matt takes and report back with profits. Well, okay. I don't think you're going to be able to do that unless you're in the Discord because sometimes I trade in the afternoon, but I also post it every single day. And to be clear, I don't make money every single day. Like sometimes I lose accounts and I try to be transparent about it. It's not always hunky-dory. I'm not a perfect trader. I wish I were a perfect trader. I wish I had a magic Harry Potter wand that controlled the market. Unfortunately, I just don't. Okay, so we did break the IB low on the NASDAQ. So we made the IB low here at 1028.31. We just broke it, and I wish I knew that earlier. Bro makes 30 to 40K almost every single day. Yeah, we can all do that on prop accounts. Dude, shut up. You sound like a fucking retard. 30 to 40K. Yeah, everything's possible in sim to funded land. Everything. I mean, if you make $1,000, do you know how you make 50,000? Just go buy 49 more accounts. It's all easy to do in sim to funded land. All right, we have a little sweep low. Are we going to come back to that IB? Mag 7 was looking good until 10:01, and then we got that 10 a.m. reversal. Same thing with the S&P 500. We were looking good till 10:01, and then got hit. We're battling it out right here. We kind of have that W. I don't know if it's going to keep going or not. This is a potential region for rejection anywhere 75 to 85. This 10-point region is a tough one. Same thing with the S&P 500. It technically broke the IB low. Both of them swung through the low made in the first hour. Granted, just barely, and we do have this box still. We're still in this transition zone. Next topic will be, how do prop trades, how are they affecting the market? I have to agree with ICT. They are hunting all of our simulated stops. Not only are they coming after retail, but they're coming after retail in a simulated environment. Gonna start looking for longs here. Did you not hear me just say that we broke the IB low? I mean, I guess I don't know the time frame you're trading. Obviously, intraday, if you're like, no, I'm in it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But in terms of for the remainder of the day, as soon as you pierce the IB low or high, it does give you an indication. Now, in this exact example, I'll give it to you that it barely pierced it. And if anything, it's more of a double bottom. Like, I'll give you that one. But once again, I guess I can't like 100% comment on what you're doing because I don't know the time frame that you're trading. But we are below, I think, the closing value. The Qs are above it. We're below VWAP, which I don't necessarily use that as like my end-all be-all indicator if I should be bullish or bearish, because I've seen it way too many times where there's a beautiful recovery to VWAP, as in you're below it and you play it long to VWAP as your target, as in a long play. So like, I know some people use that as like, I can only be long above VWAP and I can only be short below VWAP. And hey, if they have a profitable strategy, they have a profitable strategy. I'm just not saying I personally use that as a filter, because there's too many times where I've seen a setup I really, really like and I go long below VWAP or I go short above VWAP. So for me, that's not a hardcore filter by any means. Simulate these nuts, Matt. Well, that's a little mean. Rum starting to bounce back. Rum's thus far having a good day. It's up 6%. Rum's having a good day. Oracle's having a good day. And Tesla's, and actually TSM is too. On my watch list, these are probably some of the main green ones that I see people paying attention to. Right now on the NASDAQ, I'm basically just watching 25,000 flat, which happens to align with 6775 on SPX. So 6775, it's just where we see right here. It's this node, and that happens to align pretty perfectly with 25,000 flat on NQ. So it's a key level. I don't know which way it's going to break. I'm giving you 50-50 odds, but what I like to do, my generic like mantra to trading, is identify the key levels and see if I can play the trend away from the key level. I don't care if it's bullish. I don't care if it's bearish. I just want to get in at the key levels and see if I can play the trend that is generated from said key level. So that's why I'm watching 25,000 flat. That's why I'm watching 6775. That's why I'm paying attention to the Mag 7 float, which is getting beat up. Here's a look at the NASDAQ. It did get beat up, a little bit of a bounce. And then the same thing with the S&P 500. It was getting beaten up, but we did see a little bit of a bounce. This might fail, or it might be the low of the day. It could be a hardcore turn like we saw at 10 a.m., which is why you can never be married to a position. If you think the trend is legitimately changing from the side of the trade that you're on, you just got to cut bait and move on with your life. Am I still in my position? Yeah, I'm still short. You would hear it if I get out. You would hear order filled. Or you would hear it, I suppose, if I put on orders or something. But I'm still short at 25,000. I was in before it, and then there was a flush to 60 where I was thinking about getting out at 50, but I can't even woulda, coulda, shoulda that one, because I'm kind of woulda, coulda, shoulda it now because we bounced up, but it never even hit that target. So I did have the target at 910, and the target's still at 910. Like I said, at first I was like, oh, should I just get out at 950, the nice 50 rung area? But it never even hit it. So as much as I want to woulda, coulda, shoulda this shit, I would have never gotten out anyway. How do you define key levels? Key technical levels, key psychological levels, key options levels. I just look at where the big money is positioned. Basically, it's a marrying of three things: key technical levels, key psychological levels, and key big money institutional levels. And then generally those three things strongly overlap. Once in a while, you'll see like a psychological level that isn't a technical level, or once in a while you see a random big institutional level that doesn't seemingly align with anything. But a lot of those times, like, big money is put at technical levels, which happens to be at psychological levels. So a lot, not all of it, but a lot of the time there is a large overlap. Speaking of that, though, I might have gotten this one wrong. We're at VWAP. Also, another thing that I was playing, or like my rejection at 25,000, was I wanted to get in at the key level, but I was also playing the VWAP rejection, and we did make a fresh low. We just didn't trend successfully from there, and now we're back to VWAP, which, if it breaks, I might have to switch long. Actually, I think I do have to switch long here. I'm going to give it a second just in case there's a rejection. But if there isn't a rejection, I need to cut this trade, and I need to quickly go long. Do you usually do one contract per account? It depends what's going on. It's based on volatility and movement. It's not just based on this idea of only trading one contract. But I mean, that means you're not scaling with the proper environment. Same thing with always like, oh, I go for 10 points or I'm risking 10 points. That's basically saying volatility is literally always the same thing, which I don't believe to be true. I think that's a crazy statement. Can we take a look at IWM? Maybe in a little bit, but I need to pay attention to the NASDAQ here. Are we actually breaking out? Or is this going to get, like, we're at VWAP right now. VWAP is, I don't know, what is it? 25,038. Like, we're at VWAP. So this is talking about key points. This is a key point. So I need to try to either, I'm short, so I either need it to reject and I could keep my position, or if we're actually popping, I need to get the fuck out because I'm on the wrong side of the trade. But I just need to wait. I don't know which way it's going to go. And anyone on this planet telling you they know it's going to break out or break down, they're selling you fucking snake oil. No one on this planet knows, which is why it's a game of reaction. This is a better view. I mean, this trading view just looks better than Ninja, but it just so happens that VWAP aligns with the 1 minute 50 EMA and the top of the cloud. So I'm watching this. Whether it goes up or whether it goes down, it's about a 50-50 shot. And anyone telling you that they definitively know every single time which way this is going to break, they're so incredibly full of shit. All I could tell you is this is a key level. It's time for me to pay attention. If it breaks up, I'll go long. If it breaks down, I'll hold my short. It's honestly that simple. Oh, dude, it's really indecisive here. It's not making it easy to tell which way this is going to go at all. There was just a flow alert. A flow alert just means there's a lot of trading. It could be bullish. It could be bearish. It just means someone's trading with serious size. And of course, it happens right as we're at VWAP, making it a very difficult decision. All these damn indecisive candles. That's what I'm saying, dude. All these damn indecisive candles. Indecisive candles, 100% all day. Wrong way, Matt, for right now. It looks like it's testing VWAP. Do you have me muted or something? What the fuck have I been talking about? One of us is not paying attention, and I have a feeling that it's you. Have I not been talking about how we're just at a key level trading right now? Like, what's funny about that is he came in like he's saying like an important thing of like, dude, it's VWAP. Did you see that? Dude, people are fucking nuts. The SPY is looking decent. So we pop up. It goes from green to red to green. We're retesting that low value. Some buyers are stepping in. To drive this point home, I have no particular prediction of which way this breaks. I give each side a 50-50 shot. It's the game of can you get on the right side of it. It is a higher low. Structure's looking decent. Every time up, there it goes. And then, dude, every single time I think it's about to get going, I see a round of selling, and I can see it better on Bookmap. Like, it's just every little pop above VWAP, it's just met with selling. Dude, this is a tough one to grab. I'm still in the short. I'm not feeling comfortable with the short, to be completely honest. But every single time, like I'm about to cut the short and go long, and then I look over back at the screen, and just boom, someone hits it again. We're just pinned to VWAP. We just have to wait. Folks, this is just patience. If you are trying to predict the breakout or breakdown, you're doing it wrong. Wait for the breakout. Wait for the breakdown. Play the new trend. Risk the recent extreme, whether it's the high or the low on whichever direction you're going, and just hope for the best. Like, we don't have to overcomplicate it. It's now technically above VWAP by 10 points. But like I said, every single time I see it, it just gets smacked. We're really slowing down here. Mag 7's not looking good, which isn't the best for longs. 1 minute's bullish on SPX and NQ. 5 minute is bullish on ES and NQ. 10 minutes trying to push bullish. And then we're about to close the 10-minute bar in 20 seconds. And then if we take out the high, they're both officially bullish. This is a choppy fucking mess, folks. This is painful. We're just in purgatory. You have to wait. There's no trend on the daily chart. There's no trend on the intraday chart. Like, we're just stuck at equilibrium. We're not seeing a push as of now. Of course, this can change on a moment's notice, but we're just not really seeing a push. Wow. Every single time I look up, I'm like, okay, time to cut this short because it's pumping. It's getting really close. I just see someone sell a chunk. They're just market selling on Bookmap. Obviously, this can't continue endlessly, but Jesus. I would prefer a more decisive move. Oh. We end the day at 6785 on SPX 100%. You know, I don't agree with that, but if it were to happen on this particular day with you calling that out, I'd be thoroughly impressed. I really would be. I really would be. Yeah, we're still just at fucking VWAP, dude. I would feel more confident of the breakout, but look at Mag 7. Mag 7 is trending up, but options are not following. There's a weird disconnect right there. S&P 500 is popping. Puts are getting sold. Calls are getting bought. But we did break the IB low, which is another weird contradiction of the day. Today thus far, and who knows what's going to happen, today thus far is really, really shaping up to be a fucking mess. We swept all these lows between 1020 and 1035 just to have the most lethargic fucking bounce to the upside. It's just indecisive. If you're confidently bullish or bearish right here, right now, intraday, I want to be on what you're on because I am not seeing confidence in any direction whatsoever. Hopefully it changes because with that confidence, maybe we can make like actual trades here. But I'm seeing a lack of it. Seeing a lack of confidence out of both camps. I'm not just trying to pick on the Bulls. I'm not trying to just pick on the Bears. The Bulls aren't getting this to bounce. The Bears couldn't get the breakdown. We're seeing a mismatch between price action and options. We're at key levels of equilibrium. If you look at VWAP, SPX is climbing. That's a little bit stronger, at least on this 1 minute. We are technically in the green, so I'll give them that. This was a nice pop. It was calls and puts, but that was off the delta low of the day. Like literally we're just bouncing off the worst options level reading. This flow alert did have decent follow through. I can't bring myself to have confidence in any position. As in, I wish I had no position. I am still short because I haven't hit my wrist to get knocked out just because I haven't been convinced the other way. But if I had no position right now, that would actually be, I think that's the appropriate position at this moment in time. I just got stuck in a little bit of a short that I'm not stoked with. Requested my first payout with Apex, but I haven't received an email about plane setup. Does it take a week for them to process a payment? I don't know what plane is. Do you mean plaid? I don't know. I set mine up so many months ago, years ago at this point, that I set it up the first time and I forget. It's somewhere in there. They should have emailed you. Oh, brother. Oracle and Tesla still looking somewhat decent. We had a nice pop. They gave some back, but they're catching a bid now. So that's kind of interesting. I'm just setting up some alerts just because in case I like, since I'm still in a position, I should be somewhat paying attention and whether there's follow through or not, I guess I should know. But look at how slow this is getting. Lethargic. Yeah. So the 5 minutes bullish, the 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bearish. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minute almost went bearish, but now it's trying to bounce. So 25,000. Not only like before, that was a really good question that someone had about like, how do you know the levels? This is a perfect evidence of it's a technical level. It's this 50 EMA on the 30 minute. It's a psychological level. And then every time we get there, we see a bunch of liquidity there. So it's a key institutional level as well. So the line in the sand is 25,000 on NQ, at least on that particular time frame. And now we're just waiting. Now we're just waiting. I'm literally to the point I'm getting so bored that I'm marking out 5 minute highs and lows and we're not even breaking those. Wow. We went from huge range to now fucking nothing. That just shows you how quickly volatility and ranges like ATR can dry up. Big pump, flat, big pump. Like we're moving all over. And now in like the past 10 minutes, like we've barely moved at all. Patience. Even this, the 1 minute was bullish, broke, nice bearish push. I got in here. I waited for the pump, the pullback. I got in here. There was no follow through. And then I basically said, okay, I'll get out if it goes bearish, but it hasn't. It tried to, but now it's not confidently bullish or bearish, which is why I say I'm stuck in the position. And then guess what? This also perfectly aligns with VWAP. So not only is it the 1 minute EMA cloud for 1 minute equilibrium, bullish or bearish, it is also perfectly VWAP. So like, we're just stuck. We're just stuck. Might go bearish, no? I mean, yeah, it also might go bullish. What kind of question? I don't understand that question. Explain your question. Aggressive sellers, but it's being bought up. Weird. Might go bearish, no? Guess what? Has the same odds of going bullish, brother. I think a lot of the times it's super easy to see the market through the lens that you want it to go. So you're continually looking for information that backs up like literally what would benefit your positions. And we all do this. Like we're all guilty of doing that type of shit. Fuck, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But yeah. So to your question, it might go bearish. Yeah. But then also if you ask, it might go bullish. Also, yeah. I'm in longs. Haha. I guess I'm missing the joke on that one, but the answer is yes to both. I see HIMS as bullish for the moment, but do you think it'll hold? No idea. 50-50. I mean, as much as I tell you guys to not predict, why do you then just keep asking me questions on prediction? I mean, I'm not trying to give you like an asshole answer. That's like the legitimate, honest answer is you have the math of the market, especially in the short term, tells you your odds are 50-50. Like those are, I'm not giving you that answer to be a dick. I'm giving you like, that is like the legitimate mathematical answer. It is you have a 50-50 shot. All right. Is that the actual breakout now? Mag 7's still getting hit. S&P 500's popping. Is there any follow through to this? Kinda. I guess I could zoom out a little. Did I say something offensive? No, it's just a stupid question. So, I mean, I'm not going to get offended by a stupid question, but it was a dumb fucking question of, could it go bearish? Yeah. It could also go bullish. And it could also go sideways. So I don't find it personally offensive. It's just a dumb question. There we go. In a free trade, Mr. Boulay crushing it. I think that whomever or whatever is controlling this from going up will let loose and go in a direction, haul ass in that direction. Maybe. Need 4K to pass Apex EOD 150K eval. Should I go 5 minutes? What does that mean? Should I go 5 minutes? Oh, 5 minis. Sorry. How lucky are you feeling? Dude, even this, every single time I think it's going to get going, it just gets smacked. We're just, right now, no real movement, folks. We've gone from a delta reading low to a delta reading high in about 25 minutes. We just keep getting pinned to various levels of equilibrium. We just hit the 50% retracement on IB. Today's setup on that IB would be to short at 25,080 and play it down to 980. So it's a 100-point trade today. That's like the common IB. You look at the side of the IB that's made second. Today, the low was made second. You wait for the 50% retracement, and then you play that all the way back down to the IB reading itself. But it is now on top of VWAP. Do I want to cut mine? I guess I'm just so hesitant because all these little pumps have just been so lethargic. But I suppose in my mind, I'm messing it up because I could cut the position and protect my risk. That doesn't necessarily mean that I have to actually go long. And I'm more so thinking about, do I want to go long right now? And I'm hesitant about the long, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be properly handling my risk. Hang on, there was a question. Do you put 150K over the 50K strictly for extra drawdown? I just, that is part of it, but I think it has the better ratios and numbers. I suppose if you're willing to trade micros, maybe the 50K is better because of its ratios. But if you're trading, if the smallest size you trade is a mini, the DLL that they give you on the 50K is like borderline impossible. So can you be successful? Yes, of course you could be successful. It's just really, really hard. So it kind of, to answer that, it depends on what you trade. I never, ever trade micros. So for me to survive the DLL on the 50K would be extraordinarily difficult. Dark pools are real. They're real. They're just not doing what retail thinks they're doing. But they are like a real thing. I make $1 million a day on ICT Concepts. Tanya Trades is my hero. I've met Tanya Trades. She's a cool lady. I've never seen her trading, though. I don't know if she's profitable or not. But congrats to you on making $1 million a day. That sounds like a pretty nice life. And look at that. A fake out breakout. Dude, this is whipsaw today, folks. Be careful. More so than normal when I'm like, yo, size down. Look at that. We had a legitimate breakout. Icarus fired long 3 separate times in that pump, and it just got faded back to VWAP. This is brutal. I'm a self-funded, though. There's advantages and disadvantages to, but look at that. We pop up just for it to be a fade. This is a brutal game today. A legitimate breakout just to get faded. Folks, if I make money on this trade, pure luck. I want it to be clear, like Icarus fired multiple times. This is going. The reason that I stayed in it is, look at this. I pointed out this disconnection. Mag 7 in price is going, but the options market was never agreeing with it. Did you get to break even? No, my break even is 25,000 flat. I might get out here if buyers step in, but like why I was giving it a little bit more room is the options market never showed excitement in tech. So to me, this was like a bullshit push. Prices going up and up and up, and yet the delta is hitting a new low. So to explain to you why I kind of gave it, so like, is it lucky or is it not? I don't know. Like obviously at any point the Mag 7 could have popped, but it didn't pass the smell test, if you know what I'm talking about. It just something about it. My spidey senses were tingling. My spidey senses were for sure fucking tingling. And I'm literally explaining why. I saw price higher and higher and higher, and yet the options market was showing no enthusiasm for the leading Mag 7 plays. Pure luck and testicular fortitude. It might be that. But on this retest, things might change. So I actually kind of care more about this current retest than what we've seen, to be completely honest. Oracle took a hit. For some reason, I have 2 oracles up right now. Dude, this market is just not making up its mind today. So that was another VWAP retest. So we just got pushed right back down to equilibrium. And like I said, it's now from here that I'm like actually interested. 5 minute, see how it dipped perfectly into the cloud? Right into the cloud. Which way is it going to go? Are we going to get a cloud breakdown, or are we actually bouncing out of this? Right, same thing. 5 minute, we dipped into the cloud. Dude, not an easy setup by any means. If you are struggling today, you are not alone. It's just there's no nice trend today. There was nice trends early today, but ever since 10:30, 10:45, it's been chop city. So the nice moves were early. We had a nice pop up, we had a nice drop, a recovery, another drop, And then all the nice ranges. There were nice ranges. I can't complain about the entire day. But post 10:30, post 10:45, we're clearly, right. Anyone with eyeballs can see we're just getting pinned to VWAP. What's the 30-min? 5-minute is bullish, but it's testing. 10-minute is bullish, but testing. 30-minute on ES is bearish. This is another part of the reason why I held the position is because the 30-minute is refusing to push higher on the S&P 500. The 5-minute on NQ is bullish. 10 minutes bullish. 30-minute is actually technically bullish. So we're seeing a mismatch. When ES and NQ mismatch, without a doubt, that's when I trade my worst. Because it's just definition of Chop City. So not only are we seeing Chop City and momentum, but then we're also seeing the exact same thing play out. We get above VWAP, smack down, and we get below VWAP, we push right back up. This is not like yesterday where we had a nice, beautiful trend. It's opposite. We're as of now, and it might persist all day. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised it is even. We had an hour of good trading, and then it kind of happened. On CPI days, especially with the conflict, I thought we'd have bigger ranges. Like I said, I don't care if it's bullish or bearish. I just thought we'd have nicer ranges in some direction. So I am a little surprised, especially with stability being this low. Stability is 3%. We're just not getting follow through anywhere. So we just have to wait. It could happen on a moment's notice, folks. And I guess to be clear, I still have those short positions. I don't like them, and I might get lucky. I just haven't really had a compelling reason to get out of them, which in itself is not that good of a reason. But hey, 50-50, maybe it breaks in my favor. Still at 6785, did call it correctly. I thought you said 6775. Yeah. We're just chilling right at this closing value. So we're slightly green right now. This is another place of equilibrium. Look we're at the 1 minute cloud. We're at the closing value. We almost broke below 75. That didn't happen. Overall, we're in the market maker transition zone. We're just not trending today. Well, we were. Beautiful trend. Down, up, and now fucking nothing. This was purgatory in here. I'm going to feel a lot better about my position if we break 25,028. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a snap of this low, and then I'll feel more comfortable in my current position, which I probably should have been out of a while ago. But like I said, I saw this mismatch here, this disconnection. Price was going up, but options kept getting hit. So I decided to give it a little bit more time. And with the time I gave it, just nothing happened. So I'm still in the play. So I suppose in the world of trading, sometimes that's where the art meets the science. Sometimes that's where the art meets the science. Here's the closing value. This is the green to red test. If it doesn't bounce right here at 81, which it might, people might choose to buy it right at the closing value. That's a common tactic. I'd be looking at 775, which to clarify is a very clear positive gamma node. 6775, 6770. Positive gamma node. You have a negative gamma node at 6790. We're right back at VWAP. VWAP is still 25,038. And guess what? We are right at it. I don't know how many different ways I could tell you we are stuck at equilibrium, but folks, we are stuck at equilibrium. BBC, big, bold calls. Folks, while we're waiting for the trend to break, I want to remind you, this is the final day for Apex's 80% off sale. You could use that code Goonie to take advantage of their brand new accounts. EOD drawdown, no payout denials, no MAA rule, no 5-to-1 risk reward, built-in scaling, 50% consistency. They still have 1-day pass on the evals. My favorite is 150K EOD accounts, but obviously that's a personal decision. You should use what's best for you. Those accounts with this code Goonie are only $60, so very affordable in the realm of prop trading. But obviously, as I've already said, use the accounts that are clearly gonna be best for you. I just want to let you know that this is your final trading session. There's 12 hours left, so this is the day to get those through the finish line. And obviously, I wish you the best of luck. Once again, code Goonie to get that 80% off on Apex trading. For those of you who are maybe a little late to joining the show today, just because I get this question all the time. I have not heard back from Apex yet on my $1 million payout. I'm just waiting. Patience, not only is patience key in the market today, it is apparently key for me to figure out what's happening in Apex. Is it 50% consistency unfunded? Yes. On the funded, it is 50%, not on the eval. It is 1 day pass on the eval. This is the breakdown I was looking for. So we're seemingly pushing back bearish. We took out this low. We're about to take out the second low. And now here's the third low. And then from 25,000, which is a key level. And we're actually even at the 50%. All right. So 25,000. This is a key level. People might choose to buy it. It's a key technical level, key psychological level, key gamma level, key liquidity level. When I say liquidity, I mean I can just see a shitload of people trying to buy right there. So I'm watching 25,000 flat. In the world of psychological levels, this is the most evident one. 25,000. That's just such a nice human perfect number. So I'm watching that, which is definitely why I'm going to turn this alert on, the snap of 96. For me, unfortunately, I mean, a better short would have been up here around 45. My short's at 25,000. So I kind of need this continuation to happen just to be break even. And that's just because I got into a bad position over here around 1032. It wasn't bad at the time. I liked it. It just obviously ripped through my face. Are you still short? Yeah, I'm still in it. Once again, my fill's at 25,000 flat. So this, I need this to snap. Why is this alert not working? Every time, yeah, there we go. 24,996. That's the low at 1039. I need that to break. I need that to go. I need that to go. Okay, and we broke. All right. I'm putting
Order
my
submitted.
first target back where it should be. CL pumping? Oh, was there an update related to this war? No, CL is not pumping. I don't know where you got that from, but you're definitely fucking with me. Are we going to go? Are we going to go? Piper did fire on that. Where is Piper? Is that a misprint? No, Piper didn't fire, so it is a misprint. We didn't hit a fresh low there. So we hit a fresh low on the NASDAQ. We did not hit a fresh low on the S&P 500. Who said oil was pumping? Oil's not moving. Spiked and fell. What are you talking about, dude? Are we looking at the same chart? New Apex EOD payout was requested and approved within 2 hours. Dude, massive, massive congrats. Matt, CL's up 4%. Yeah, from yesterday's close till now. It's not spiking at this moment. Can you see the chart? It's in your face right here. It's up 3%, first of all, and that's from yesterday's close to this moment. It has not moved at all since 1020. We're back to that 25,000 equilibrium. Damn. We're right at 25,000. It's going to be the battle. We just got to wait. We just got to wait. I'm wondering if it's the dagger lower, the failed bounce. That's what I want to happen based on my position. And then I want it to go to the overnight low. That's what I'm looking for. We puked, fake bounce. We puke again to 900. That's like the base case that I would love to happen. Now, will it happen? I have no idea. But that's what I would love to happen. And I could move my risk to only 5 points, which is actually pretty nice. I could move my risk to 5 points. Imagine thinking the day over day change tells you what's happening. Something just happened. SPY just made a fresh low, and we're going for the lows of yesterday currently. And Piper fired. I just want to make sure that it is right. It is right. If you're in the Discord, Piper just fired. Gives you an idea of the stats and the momentum and all that good jazz. I'm sorry for coughing. I'm just having the worst time kicking wherever the fuck this cough is. All right. I just got to fill. If you're in the Discord, I'm doing everything I can. Let me put this up so you guys can see that. Sorry, I'm doing my options trades right now. So Piper fired, that's in there. I'm taking a quick screenshot so you guys can see the levels that I decided to play. I took a little bit more of a conservative Piper because of the premium that I got. Here's this if you guys want to watch my trade for me. Thick trades, that's in there. All right, that's in there. That's in there. Okay, let's go to public. Let's rip a similar call or a similar trade, I should say. Trade options. Sell. All right, did that get a fill? No. All right. Got my trades in. All right. So now we're going to see if we're actually going or not. I don't like this view. Sometimes the 100 tick. Right here. This was that level I was talking about, 50. Sometimes you get that psychological reaction to it. And look at that. Bounce off of 50 to 70. Oh, do I? Today's been a struggle. Today, I just wonder, like, because today's been so choppy and shitty, it makes me say, oh, I see green in my accounts. Time to take the money. But then I wonder, it's been so choppy and shitty that is this the pendulum? We go from consolidation to expansion, and am I about to get out of this trade right before we have legitimate expansion? That's like the mental battle of this right now. And I can't even really put my stop to break even because it's just below 25,000. A better stop would be like 25,005, like this high right here. Oh, what are we doing? What in tarnation is going on? This red dash line is the bottom of IB. So remember before when I was talking about that 50% retracement, that was a beautiful trade. You could see it best here. So the blue dash line is the 50% retracement. So basically the market opened at 9:30 over here. We pumped up and we made the top side of IB all the way at 25,180. Then we sold off and we made the bottom side of IB, which remember IB is the first hour's high and low from 9:30 to 10:30. So we made that. And then the trade is your target is the second one that is made. So obviously today we made this second, but you wait for the retracement to the 50% mark. So basically you wait for the bounce up to 25,080, you go short, you're short at 25,080 and you're targeting here. You made 100 points, that's 2K per contract. Do I wish that I added more to my position there? Yeah, I really wish I added there because I'd be very, very green right now. I am green, but I'd be even more so green. And now I need like a magical puke all the way down to 900, which maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But just to explain that IB 50% trade, You look at the one that is created second. Today, the bottom was created second. You wait for the recovery, and then you play it back to the one that was created second. So you're short at 80. You ride it all the way down. And honestly, you didn't even take on that much heat. This time, you took on 10 points of heat at max. At one point, you're feeling really good. It bounces. You might have been sketched out a little bit there, but it inevitably still ended up really working for you. Just entered long, so your short could play out immediately. Corey, I appreciate you doing that. But from the perspective of teaching, like, what did you see of why you entered long? Did you enter long on the recovery of IB? Like you're clearly fighting trend. The 1 minute's bearish on ES and NQ, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minutes bearish and clearly got rejected, 4 hours bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minute is potentially breaking bearish, 4 hours bullish over there. So there's a little bullishness. The Mag 7 is puking this entire time. We're at a delta low. The S&P 500 popped and gave it back. I guess I'm like, what are you seeing that you're like, I want this? Like, I guess I don't fully understand the play. Like, I'm not seeing what you're seeing that would make be like, I'm going to try it. I guess maybe I see it with the IB. There is a common stat of as soon as you retest IB to bounce. So obviously it's been a bit of a mean reverting trade. So like, I kind of get that, I suppose. So if you're playing, no, man, I'm playing the IB bounce, I get it. But the SPY never hit the low, which I find concerning because you'd feel like they would want to evaluate that level. So we never hit the low from yesterday, which is basically coming up 6,760. So if I were to buy a random bottom, like catch a falling knife, I would do it right here. I wouldn't do it up here. Do I know the Apex fees off the top of my head? I do not. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I think, is it, I don't, does anyone in chat know it? PA end of day. Okay, so it's different for account size and it's different on the type of your account, but I'm seeing PA, some people are saying 75, some people are saying 99. So it sounds like it changes based on your account type and your account size. I don't like this. This is a higher low, almost an inverse shoulder, head, shoulder. So I'm not liking the technical setup. I would very much like for this to get faded pretty hard at 25,000. And the break even on my accounts appears to be 80, maybe 82 or something like that. The low 80s. So 980 is where all my accounts are break even. Obviously, the trade break even is 25,000. All right. Thanks for all that info. The real question is it, if it fails right here, do I have the balls to add a contract? That's the real question. If it fails at 25,000, does your boy have the balls to add? How do you feel about FOMC next week? What do you mean? How do I feel? We're either really going to go up or we're really going to go down. Like, should my feelings be different than most FOMCs? I guess I don't really get the question. Feels like it's another FOMC. Add to or die trying. Dude, is it just going to go right back to VWAP? Are we just doing the VWAP retests from hell at this point? This is crazy. We're just not getting nice follow-through trends. We're getting movement. I mean, the range is still decent, but we're not getting like that nice persistent trend, which I guess we have to wait and see if it ever comes to fruition. But as for that question of how I feel about FOMC, I guess I don't understand. I feel literally the same as normal. It's an FOMC meeting. I don't know why I'm thinking about adding another contract. I just am. I just am.
Order filled.
All right. At this point, I need to get the stops on there.
Order submitted.
I can't be completely stupid about this one.
Order submitted.
He's going for it. We're going to see. I feel like I'm not carrying that much risk in reality. I'm going to be pretty diligent about these stops. So I more so did it because of the proximity of like what I'm willing to risk. It's not that far away. And maybe I could get a little scalp out for an extra $830. Go, 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 go. No, no, you got so close. You got so close. Get back there. Don't do this to me. No, it got so close. For an extra 800, go. Go, 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 go. Trust your gut. Ugh. I wouldn't trust my gut when it comes to trading. I wouldn't trust my gut when it comes to trading. Damn, that got... I mean, it wasn't like within a point. It's not my normal bad beats where I'm like, dude, a point away. But still, like, I mean, it was just so quick. And I was like, damn, that's going to be an easy one. Shit. Come on. Buyer stepped in right at the IB low right here, 78, 79. Come on, brother. We still have a succession of higher lows, which I'm not the most stoked about. Not the most stoked about the higher lows. I was really hoping that that puke would make a fresh low and we're continuing with the overall trend to the downside. Not happy that I see this high. I see a higher high. I see this low. I see a higher low. I see a higher low. I was trying to play this little short-term trend reversion and hoping it would break in the manner of the larger trend of like the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute. Come on. Show me that Macarena. Show me. This is what 1776 was fought for. Go for it. Fucking go for it. Come on. You can do it, brother. Come on. Billionaire bears, please start shorting. Attention, all billionaire bears on the floor. Attention, all billionaire bears on the casino floor. Please start shorting. Go, 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 go. I need you to do this. I need it so bad. I need you to get this filled, please. Please fucking hit 55. Oh my God, Jesus fucking Christ, just hit the fucking number. I swear to fucking God.
Order
Thank
filled.
you. Thank you. Golly, that took some effort. Golly, that took some effort. All right, free trade. Free trade alert. Brother, 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 and sister. 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 I think I passed these Tradeify accounts. Right?
Order
All right,
filled.
I closed out the Tradeifys because I hit the 9K. 9K, 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 9K. Like, there's no point in me continuing to trade them. All right, let's go back to this. I feel like I'm fucking crushing today. So I passed that one. I passed the 5 at Tradeify. So we're going to disconnect from that just to not fuck with me. No. I messed up. How much did I make? How much did I make yesterday? Dude, I think I fucking made too much on these because of the consistency rule. Shit. What is it? What did I make yesterday? I can't exceed it. 7 PVs, 3,000. Please say 3,000. 3,100. Close enough.
Order filled.
All right. That's good because I can't fuck with the consistency over there because yesterday, 3K, 3K, 3K. So I'm done on those ones. So the last one I'm trading is this new account. One more stands. Right here. And then there was one. And then there was one, folks. And this one, did I disconnect? I did. It should disappear. I'm on my final account. This one, I think I'm done at 159. So that's another one that I have to stop at 159. Matt, just trade with your own account. It's a dumb rule that after you pass the evals, you can't make too much money. Well, there's just no point to because you already passed it. Like, there's no extra benefit from you making more money, I guess is the point, because you already hit the profit goal, so you might as well just close out the position and wait for it to get upgraded to funded. The issue that you saw with the FFNs, the ones that started with the 7 PV or whatever, it's because those ones have a consistency rule. And I made 3K yesterday. So if I make more than 3K, that's going to make the consistency rule like that much more difficult. So I might as well just stop it at the 3 because I already did that. So now they have a 40% consistency. So obviously I have 2 days of 3,000. So I'm at 50%. So I need one more good day and I should be good. So once again, just like there's not much in an advantage for me to like push it there, if that makes sense. And that, folks, teaches us all that sometimes it pays to be a degen. I mean, I was trading with trend. I pointed out the differential in the Mag 7. Icarus did fire short, and my risk wasn't that far away. So was it a bit degenerate to be playing with 3 contracts? Yeah, like sizing wise, but I think the rest of it like had a pretty decent setup. And now, well, that's a bummer. I was within a point. My fill was at 910 and it's been there for like an hour and it got as low as 911. LOL. Ranko sneaking into class. I see you. I see you sneaking into class. Shit, this sucks. Well, those random closeouts, I guess, benefited me. Not a bad day to me. Not a bad freaking day. Should I short another one? The real question is, do I have the balls to short it at IB if it gets up there? That's the only real question left on everyone's mind. Is does Matt have the cojones to add in another one? That's the real question. Oh, brother. Do I? What's the survey say? Do I have the balls to add another contract? Whoa! Okay. Most likely. Well, that changes everything. That changes the entire situation. Honestly, I'm surprised as well. I'm surprised as well. Anyway, we're down to the last account. Now let's see if I can pick the perfect point to add another contract. Look at the options flow. What's going on with the options flow? SPY recovering a little bit, but overall trending down. Mag 7 still pretty much at the low of the day. We just got to pinpoint this accuracy. We have to have sniper level accuracy, which means we need some Tendies and Tunes music to really crush this. What was the song? Red Canna Club, Bought the Top. That's how I was feeling for some point today, for sure. All right, folks, I got to hone in. The Magic 8 Ball told me to take another contract. We got to watch this like a hawk. I need to get into the matrix that is trading. I need to focus. No more fucking around. There's too many games going on in chat. You guys aren't taking this seriously. You guys aren't taking this seriously. This is real business. No time for messing around.
Order filled.
He did it!
Order can't. Order submitted.
All right, we did it. We're live. The Magic 8 Ball would never lead me astray. It would never lead me astray.
Order submitted.
Uh-oh. Did the Magic 8 Ball fuck me? I'm never gonna... If this doesn't work, I'm never trusting a Magic 8 Ball again. I want this on the record that if this trade does not work, I will never use a Magic 8 Ball again. Just want to throw that out there. So I'm putting it in the hands of the Magic 8-Ball gods that if you fucked me on this one, we're going to have a problem. Even if there's a fire? Even if there's a fire. That's a good question. Come on, Magic 8-Ball. Come on, Magic 8-Ball. Come on, Magic 8-Ball. Send it.
I watch you polish lies like they were heirlooms. Go play the teeth in a mouth full of dead truths. You shake
Mag
hands
7's
like
still getting
currency
beat up.
exchange. Every smile indexed to personal gain. You preach family from a boarded up house. Sell loyalty cheap.
If you want to trade with me and learn how to use Magic 8-Balls, GoonieTrading.com. Last day for Apex, 80% off with code Goonie. Final trading session for the current deal. But more importantly, if you need to master Magic 8-Ball trading, Goonie Trading is the best place to do it.
Funny how necessary looks just like a crime. You don't fear hell, you fear.
Come on, break down Magic 8-Ball.
So you hide around just to feel more important. You don't want the world, you want receipts. Proof that someone else has been
Come on, Magic 8-Ball.
clean. You start to believe it. Choke on the truth and blame the oxygen. If greed's a guy, you're on your knees. Tongue out begging for another piece. You call it winning, I call it right. A throne made of bones, you forgot you bought. You talk about risk like you've ever bled. Like you didn't stack the deck, then bet on red.
Come on, Magic 8-Ball.
Every success gets framed like it fell from the sky. You love a crowd when it's chanting your name. Disappear the second there's heat or blame. You sell the cure and poison the well. Act surprised when it all goes to hell. You got rich off pretending you're
We bounced perfectly off that 2 standard deviation. Fuck.
Nah, that's just greed with a PR spin. You keep score like gods, watching numbers, not scars. Like the debt doesn't follow you.
This isn't looking... Well, we're just going sideways. We had the recovery bounce, and now we're just like perfectly pinned to 950.
Just a voice that whispers you're living a lie. You don't want the world, you want control. A ledger that tells you still got a soul. You lie so often, it's muscle memory. Truth feels foreign like a
Come on, brother. Magic 8-Ball. Come on. Come on, you could do it. This is exactly what it's like in the world's leading hedge funds, market makers, prop shops. There we go, Magic 8-Ball. Go. Always trust the Magic 8-Ball. We never doubted you for a second. Go, brother. Go, brother. Go, brother. Go. This is trading. All gas, no brakes. Come on, Magic 8-Ball. Come on, Magic 8-Ball. You could do it. Our financial health is in your hands. Go, Magic 8-Ball. Go, Magic 8-Ball. Go, 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 go. Oh, Lord Magic 8-Ball, the one true ruler of the markets. In you we trust, for nothing but profits and tendies. Oh, this is a nice tune. Oh, maybe we just needed to calm down a little bit.
Order filled.
There we go. The Macarena strikes again.
Order canceled.
Free
Order
trade for the
submitted.
runner. Locked in 3.6. And then this one's just a runner, obviously. Magic 8-Ball for the win. Dude, what a song.
wide, wide. By the opening bell, the street gon' slide. Mad slam fist, I'm done being prey. These hedge fund kings been eating our pay. I know a server downtown by the bay. We crack that vault, we get in our say. Piper smirks, laptop lit. Give me 2 hours, I can ghost the grid. I sip my cup, grin full of sin. Alright boys, let the chaos begin. No ski masks, just suits and nerves. We don't steal cars, we still reserve. Algorithm loaded, code in line. Gonna flip their flow and drain it fine. By sunrise, they'll blame the Fed. While we stack bread on what they bled. One last drag, split that bill. Heist in motion, hunters thrill. Step through marble, badge fake, jaw tight. ID flash clean and fluorescent light. Janitor cart full of cables and code. Piper in the back running overload. Matt on the desk with a grin so sly. Energy drink stack shoulder high. Server room hum like a demon choir. Numbers post red, situation die. Yo Piper. He says feed that scheme, flip that switch, crash that dream. I nod once, type that spark. Shots drip red, floor goes dark. Phone start melting, brokers swear. We ghost in the glitch, nobody there. Mac grabs, drives, laughs insane. Chaos my guy, we control the chain. Elevator drop, 16 floors. Briefcase heavy with digital wars. Fire alarm howling, lights go red. We slide through smoke where the brokers bled. Lobby guards sprint, pure confusion. We plan this crash like a stock illusion. Outside.
All right, locked in 44.5K on the funded FFN accounts, 16,000. On the evals, I just had a scalp trade it, so $75. On the funded Lucids, 8.7. Passing this Legends one, 3.6. That's still running though. That's the one position I still have open because I can run this up to 159. So I'm watching for 159, but the stop's at break even. So worst case scenario is making 3.6 on that. And then on the evals here at Tradeify, I ended up making 16, but I passed those. So I passed the Tradeifys, I passed these FFNs, the funded FFNs I grew, the funded Lucids I grew, and I'm working to pass this Legends one right now. I can't trade my Apex because they're frozen. I'm waiting for the $1 million payout. And I can't trade my TPTs because I don't get the pros until tomorrow. So that's the current state of everything. And this is fucking ripping it. All right, I think my profit target has to be 45. Yeah, 45 I think is the max profit. I think if this one hits, which I have no idea if it will, that should bring this one final position over the 159 target. So I'm just going to leave that there. My stop's at break even. Worst case scenario, 3.6K, or it vomits all the way down and I pass that test. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's that. If you're wondering why should you get into the Goonie trading Discord, well, this was the trade called out in real time. Here's my Weeble account up 1.5K. Remember, that would pay for an entire year of the service. It's $100 a month. If you think it's worth it, I mean, to me, it's a basic business question. That paid for an entire year. If you agreed with this one trade, if you understand call credit spreads, if you saw the setup I explained it in the Discord, this service itself, you would have gotten an entire year for free. So when I get questions like, is the Discord worth it? I think the easiest way to think about it is a pure business decision right here. You could close it out now and in your mind think, no matter what I do in the Goonie trading server, the entire year is free. So that's how I look at it. I think everyone should think of it as a basic business decision. Do you get more value being in there than not being in there? Do you currently have swing plays? It's in the Discord. I'm not going to give away everything for free. That would be crazy. That's what the Discord is for. That would be like shortchanging them. My point is to show you that this was called out in real time to everyone in the Discord, and it would have already paid for this service for literally over a year. So Do I think it's worth it? Yeah, but that's because I made it and I put in effort. So probably the most fair way to ask, is it worth it, is ask people in the Discord and get their true, humble opinion of if they think it's worth it or not. So just want to call out Goonie Trading if you want to trade with me. Apex, this is the final, day of this 80% off. Use code Goonie. If you use this is about to get tagged for break even. Should I close it or should I leave it? This was the Magic 8-ball trade. Leave it, close it, leave it, close it, leave it. It's about to get closed out. All right, that's it. It closing me out. Folks, I am completely flat. Made 44.5K trading futures. Currently up a good chunk of change trading options. And I have no positions. Let me double check. No orders. Cancel all orders. That's it. I'm done on the day. Though it was not as easy as yesterday, and I fully admit that, obviously still ended up being a pretty solid day overall. So I'm happy with how things have been going. It made us wait a while to catch this actual move. This pop here, 1035 to 11, that was a brutal pop. It was a very large range fake out, and I'm happy it broke my way. But if you had issues getting chopped up in that, I feel for you. I mean, it was tough. Can you remind me where I can get this music again? Yeah, it's called, can you guys see this? Right here, Tendies and Tunes. Tendies and Tunes is the channel. It's 100% free. All the music you listen to on this channel, it's made by my producer, Chaos. He is the magic man behind the curtain making all this phenomenal music. A lot of great music. It's 100% free. So anyone interested in that, feel free. So once again, that's where you can find it. Tendies and Tunes. It's on Rumble. It's on YouTube. You guys can track it down, but that is the name. Folks, that's what I have for you. This is your final day with Apex. This is, if you want to join the Goonie Trading Discord, GoonieTrading.com. If you have any questions, go to GoonieTrading.com, and there's a contact page, so you can reach out to me with any questions you have. But I've literally maxed out my futures accounts for what I could do today. I've already done my option trade, so as much as it was a brutal start to the day, as in not the most easiest follow through to like really get your teeth into, and it ended up breaking in our favor and going pretty well. So the Magic 8-ball did lead us to the promised land. It very much led us to the promised land. So I'm happy about that. Folks, that's what I have for you. I wish you best of luck in the rest of the trading session. We do have videos coming out. So if you're on Rumble, if you're on YouTube, make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss that. We're dropping 2 videos today. I'm going to go hang out in the Discord and answer any questions that are over there. But as of now, I mean, a pretty nice hump day. So we're going to see how this keeps going. But I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate all the good vibes. I hope you make a shitload of money. I'll catch you in those videos later on today, and I'll catch you in the stream tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., bright and early. Best of luck. Peace.